Ladies and gentlemen and in-betweeners, tonight on the Rocks celebrates Pride season, kicking off, continues with the queen of the Billboard charts as well as the queen of Pride. Singer-songwriter Debbie Holliday is here. We have international LGBT promoter Paul Nicholls and my twisted sister from another mister, guest co-host, Andrew Christian model, and Stoli ambassador Nick Masc is here, and me, your favorite host with the deepest voice. So raise a glass and let the drinks begin.
And most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, coming at you live, where I drink with your favorite celebrities as we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and, well, that's about it. So pop a cork, lean back, and raise a glass to On the Rocks.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Oh, Lord, I don't even know what to expect. Buttons and bows and pantyhose, this is On the Rocks, the place where we're too glam to give a damn. Pride Month is coming, so instead of giving your money to big corporations slapping rainbows on everything, give your money to me, a gay, directly. Hashtag LOL. Okay, so this just in, remember Pokemon Go and every idiot was like, oh, I got a Pokemon. I don't even know what the hell it meant. Yeah. So they just released Pokemon Sleep, and you get creatures, or Kurt, what do you get for good sleep?
Yeah, for good sleeping habits.
They want it to do for sleeping what it did for walking and losing weight.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I personally love it. I love it. If they're gonna get people, I mean, that was
To
a movement to get people to walk around.
People
and
in your
sleep.
career, in your guys' career that go to bed at 2,
I wouldn't say I would be winning
They went in
it.
weird spots. We had a Pokemon behind the bar once, and people were trying to go get it.
That wasn't a Pokemon. That was.
You can't catch them all.
We're like, you can't go there, and they're like, well, no, there's a Pokemon there. I'm like, I don't care what it is. You cannot go behind the bar.
I have no Pokemon experience.
Behind many bars in West Hollywood, many people have had Pokemons. But I just didn't get the first thing though. Like, why wander around and get digital creatures that we don't even care about right now?
So do you sleep with them, the Pokemon?
No, it's
I don't
like
think that's appropriate.
it like calculates your REM or what?
What, my REM?
Yeah. Your sleeping habits.
I
So
know
the
that
better
My
you-
sleeping habits are horrible. It's filled with like Judge Judy and Golden Girls in the background. Literally, that's how I go to bed. Well, most times. Anyway, thank you to our sober listeners for tuning in. We love you. Thank you for holding your hair back and driving us home. Drink texting. Oh, texting.
Drink texting.
I don't tuck. Drunk texting is literally the only sport I'm good at, for which I have won awards, if you consider community service an award. Twice. Hello to our listeners around the nation on iHeartRadio, United Broadcasting Network, Player FM, Stitcher, TuneIn, Satchel, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and now I'm happy to announce we are on Roku. Of course, right now we are on Facebook Live on Trending Now in San Diego, True FM in Ohio, and on the West Coast on GED Magazine, the largest LGBT print online and an actual print magazine on the West Coast, and nationally on Queer 40 right now. In fact, your interview is coming out in the June issue, days away. GED Magazine.
We love them.
We love GED. Queer 40, check out my movie news that's now on video on queer40.com. My movie news is sassy, and I get a lot of hate email, and I love it. This week I chat about Aladdin. The reviews were mixed, the audience response was mixed, and Will Smith's voice was remixed. He cannot sing. He's like,
so
Prince
accurate.
Ali. Prince Ali. It was really
I
bad.
listened to it too. There's no like emotion. There's no movement.
No.
in it.
I
It's just
love
flat.
him. Do
It's
not
just
speak of
flat,
him
though.
disparagingly.
It's not. It's just saying that maybe not every actor is a singer.
Yeah.
But Robin Williams
But he
wasn't a
used to be
singer
able to.
either.
Not every
See,
singer
that's
is an
what I
actor.
thought.
He used to sing.
He did used to sing, and
And
I
like
thought...
tuck singy.
Yeah,
but
which
still.
is perfect for that role.
Yeah.
He was so vanilla and bland, and there was no vibrato, and he couldn't hit the notes,
And plus,
and
you
even
can't
with
compare
auto-tune.
to Robin Williams. You
Ooh,
just
Will
can't.
Smith
Which
vanilla.
is
That's
fine.
bad.
Oh God, it was so bad. It was embarrassing.
That's
But
a
it still
bad
made
combo.
the top 5 of all time Memorial Day box office opening weekend. Why did we need this film, and why did you guys go see it? Oh, sorry. The show is brought to you in partnership with Here TV. Here TV reaches millions of viewers each month, has produced Academy Award-winning films and Emmy Award-nominated shows. On the Rocks now appears on Amazon Prime, Facebook Watch, HereTV.com, and Here TV app for free. Thank you. Whoop, whoop. Our website has been updated. If you don't know all of our syndicates, where to find us, just go to ontherocksradioshow.com. Everything is there. You can watch us, listen to us for free, see where I'm appearing. Mama Rose is in the chat room on ubngo.com and Facebook. Ask her a question. She will answer it. If it's a burning question, she will text me during the show and I will answer it. Keep her busy. She's next to the vodka, and no more restraining orders from past guests. Hello to our yes, Psycho Mom. I want to see that movie with Octavia Spencer, by the way, called Mom.
Oh, Mom.
I want to see it so
Yes,
badly.
That looks so good. I was
That is like
scared.
right up
I'm
my
so
alley.
scared.
Yeah,
I spent 3.5 years in a play with her.
and you did the film with her too.
Yeah. So, like, it's just the thought of her being like, it's so not
It's
her.
a diverse
exactly-
role. It's such a
So
diverse
her.
role, too.
So I love it.
But I think the key is in what we've seen in the trailer is like she totally turns. She is who we want her to be. Like, I'm Octavia Spencer, let's go party. And then she's like, That was my mom, like,
I'ma
during my
kill
high
you.
school years. She's like, have your friends come to the party. I'd rather know where everybody is. But then it wasn't that fun because it wasn't like we couldn't do anything.
I feel like there's
Start
some
talking about
bizarre
mamas.
humor in
Yeah.
that movie too.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm
like,
ready for it.
inappropriate. I'm all ready for it, and
That's
I'm
like
ready
gonna
for
be me
it.
when I get
I'll be the
older.
guy laughing in the
Okay.
theater.
Well, and what I love is that it's giving Octavia Spencer a chance to not do what we want her to be now. Is
Thank
like
you.
the nice, strong
Yes.
woman in a film. It's like, let her have some fun too.
Let her be crazy.
Yes.
And sometimes when actors
Black
play
women
that
deserve
roles,
to be
it's where they
crazy,
really-
too.
There it is. I'll give a round of applause. now.
Amen. Hello to our engineer, Kurt. Speaking of crazy black women, Kurt, how are you?
Good, I guess.
Because he's so whiteified and he's so straight and he's so. That's why he runs the show because he keeps us all together.
Whiteified.
Yes,
Whiteified.
whiteified.
I'm stealing that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
okay.
look at his
Whiteified.
outfit. He's either really white or he's a lesbian.
I actually just bought a bunch of Hawaiian shirts too, so I'm gonna be wearing those.
Oh, extra
Next
white.
level.
Where does
Next
that put you?
level.
Yeah, extra white.
Just gotta light like a Tommy
you.
Bahama
Golf
candle.
Yeah.
That we really got it going on.
Kurt, anyway, you're so punny. Our listeners love your puns every week.
Of course. I have one for you. I dug
Oh, God,
I
now
dug
you're
up a
getting
worm for
verklempt.
fishing.
Vodka.
Yeah.
He doesn't even
It's,
drink. He can't even drink.
it's the end of the line for him.
Oh, God.
Wait, say it again.
Yeah, please.
I dug up a worm for fishing. It's the end of the line for him.
Oh.
Wah,
I used
wah.
to dig up
Is
Is there a
worms and
sigh
fish.
noise?
True story.
One of the questions I have is like, what's the
Rim
bushest
shot.
thing that you do?
The what? What? I mean, I love fishing, to be honest. So I used to go
pretty butch.
fishing and climb up a mountain, and I would. You couldn't bring much with you, so I would dig up the grubs, and I kind of cheated though because we were fishing for trout in little kind of like holes of water, basically, because the waterfalls go down the
Yeah.
mountain. So I would get the line with it, and I would look with goggles and see where the trout was, and kind of be like, hey.
It sounds like something you watch.
Yeah,
on
it was
trout.
kind of,
Yeah.
we called it snorkel fishing, but it's also kind of called cheating.
Well, but I love that you were manly enough to like, we're gonna go fishing and,
Oh, yeah.
and like worms and all
Oh,
that.
and then I would fillet the fish and cook it over a fire
my God,
with
look at
the
you go.
leftover bacon fat from breakfast that morning.
So
Yeah,
masculine.
okay.
if they ever do like Gay
Ooh.
Survivor, I'll munch you on my
Who
team.
knew? Yes, I know my way around the wilderness.
Yes, well, lions and tigers and bears. Oh my!
I know my way around the bears
Is it safe
too.
to say you're going to be on Naked and Afraid next?
Oh, I love that show.
When I was a kid, I ran into a couple bears, and oddly enough, in my current profession, I still run into lots of bears.
Yes, you do, and they
Wait.
still fly.
I've always had a way with the bears.
Yeah.
You know.
Got
It's
a
just-
rim shot.
Yeah.
Baby.
I love the bears.
Do you have any rim shots?
Oh, what?
Don't Google it. Just do you have any sound effects that say rim shots?
Oh.
Yeah.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yes.
Yes!
There we go. I was so afraid because sometimes he'll Google stuff that we talk about. It's like,
Uh-oh.
Yep. Anyway, thank you for that pun, Kurt. Like us on Twitter and Instagram at On The Rocks On Air, Facebook On The Rocks Radio Show. Send me an email. Book me for a wedding, funeral, quinceanera, bris. I don't care. I will show up and it'll be funny. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com. So I just came from Santa Monica, and I actually just sent you pictures, Kurt. Thank you for playing it. Did you guys know it's National Hamburger Day?
What?
Yeah. National Hamburger Day. So I want to thank the counter invited me to come to, and they had a red carpet and a step and repeat for the food. And I was like, where's mine?
That's cute.
So the counter in Santa Monica, they have many locations, invited me, and a bunch of entertainment people got together, and they hand you a menu, and it's every kind of food, and you just check what you want, from the shakes to the burgers to the tater tots to every type. And it's LA, right, with entertainment people, so you figure nobody's going to be eating. Everybody was chowing
Is
down.
it for beef only or any
No,
burger?
see, so here's the misconception. It's because it's a hamburger place. They had vegetarian options. They had healthy options. This girl had like a veggie burger on a plate of like sprouts and stuff, and she was chowing down. But it was a lot of fun. So enjoy National Hamburger Day. Thank you to the counter. I'm going to be sharing some Instagram stories
from a
at
pig.
Alexander.
Why is it called a
Yes, on it.
hamburger?
Huh?
Isn't it odd? Ham's from a pig, no?
I know.
Why
So
is
why
it
don't they
called a
call it
hamburger?
like a cow burger?
I think
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a whole other
They
show.
have turkey burgers there,
Beef
veggie burgers, mushroom burgers,
And
everything.
now I'm going to be thinking
But a
about a
hamburger.
ham
Right.
cow
Why is it
burger
called
for
a
the rest of
hamburger
the
is
day.
ham's from a pig and it's called a hamburger. This is very.
Yeah.
That's a whole other
Kurt, it
This
is
is
really
different.
hot in here. Are you sure the air is on?
whole other episode.
Yeah, it's because we have so many.
On the next
hot
episode.
nights. Yes. I want to join On The Rocks on the air. Let me just give you my brief appearances and let's get the show on the road. I will be your MC this Saturday at Out at the Fair at San Diego County Fair, June 1st, starting at 5 p.m. on the main stage. We have live performances. We have drag shows. We have DJs. It's always a fun day. Fried foods. And then in the back, I have my own little tent. And we have some drinks, allegedly. Yeah. Their mascot this year is a Debby unicorn. So go to outatthefair.com for more info. I had the pin, but actually I gave the pin to a person in Palm Springs. Somebody got pinned, which is an old
person.
Yeah, a person. Anyway, Laguna Beach Pride, the next day, if you don't want to drive all the way to San Diego, I'm going to miss you because you're there the first.
Oh.
I'm the MC Sunday, June 2nd, for the final day at Laguna Beach Pride on the beach, and then an after party with DJ Donna Montel at Mozambique.
Donna Montel.
Love
and
Donna.
They actually, I have a suit made with shorts. So if you want to come see my suit with shorts, and I'm going to be on the beach, giveaways by Andrew Christian, because you're going to spend the night, because the night before you're going to see Miss Debbie Holliday will be performing at Laguna Beach Pride. When they told me that they got you, I'm like, you go Laguna Beach, because they've been trying to bump it up.
Stepping it up.
Yeah. So go to lagunabeachpride.org, get your tickets, come say hi to Debbie, come say hi to me. Also, Santa Monica Pride is doing its first ever Pride on Saturday, June 15th. I am your MC on the main stage all day long. And the city is pulling out all the stops for Pride the next weekend, June 22nd, from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m. I am your host for Santa Monica City Pride Pub Crawl, and we're going from bars to bars. It's called Out of the Closet and Into the Bars. Go to eventbrite.com. Of course, Gay Wine Weekend. Come visit me, gaywineweekend.com, July 18th through the 21st. Travel. Everybody from around the nation comes and gathers and drinks wine tasting, and I'm hosting the drag brunch finale. Okay, let's get the show on the road. Let me reintroduce you to my twinsy, my guest co-host today, helping us keep track with today's show. Nick Masc is the leading international underwear model at Andrew Christian. Only having 2 years of modeling under his belt, he hasn't stopped him rising to the top. The only time he's been accused of being a top. In the short time, his social media audience has grown very quickly. You can check out his not safe for work Instagram stories if you want a heart attack. Already this year, already this year, Nick has been featured on the covers of GED Magazine and Grab Magazine, features in magazines like Huff, CyberSocket, and GNI. He can also be seen wandering on your TV screen with random guest features on MTV's X on the Beach Season 2, Bravo's Real Housewives of Dallas, and Lifetime's Dance Moms. Not only does Nick work for Andrew Christian, but he also works for the largest LGBTQ alcohol supporter, Stoli, as an ambassador, and travels with their tour of the Stoli Cocktail Classic each year. This year, you can see Nick and Debbie Holliday together. What city?
Yeah, Key West. Hey!
When is that?
We're going from the 2nd to the 12th. But
3rd through the 10th.
3rd to the 10th. So we're spending time there with that heat.
Oh, so you guys are going to miss LA Pride?
Yeah.
But Key West Pride, remember, everything started in Key West, girl. Key West was the main spot.
What day are you performing?
Lots of days. Definitely on the 8th.
Let's talk. I would love to come and play.
The
finale's
on the 8th.
Key West.
Okay.
All right, that's good. Yeah.
Nick not only travels to Key West and throughout the States, but also hosting events in the nightlife scene with parties and destinations including South Korea, Tel Aviv, and Bangkok. We're so classy here, and we have a lady, so I'm not going to make a joke about Bangkok. Please welcome back to the show, Nick Masc.
Woo! Where I've been.
Kurt, I have to tell you, it is so hot in here, like I'm not even kidding.
I know, right? It just makes me so thirsty.
Yeah. Okay, Kurt's going to make sure that the air is on and that it's working. I
can actually feel it.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh! Mama Rose with our Stoli.
Stoli.
Ladies and gentlemen, more Stoli has arrived.
I love that.
Courtesy of Mama Rose. All right, Nick. So we're going to, this is the opportunity for your fans to get to know you, and we ask inappropriate questions. Not inappropriate questions. We ask real questions. As an Instagram personality, we see your fabulous life, right? How much time do you literally spend every day?
What do you mean? Spend every day doing what? I spend a lot. I spend like 24
media.
hours a day, roughly.
Oh, do I spend time?
Breathe it.
Oh, I've spent some time, girl. Okay.
That's Nick being real cute. On social media, like how much time do you actually spend? Can you take your sunglasses off? Our viewers want to see your eyes.
You know, if I wasn't sweating so much under these, maybe.
Uh-huh.
Okay, to be honest, you know what? I don't want to be rude. It's just always here. It's open and closed every 5 minutes. I mean, like, I check it whenever there's like a breach in a conversation. Like when it's slow,
Not even when it's slow. I have been with you, and like even at a funeral, and you're like, selfie!
You were saying something?
Yeah, that's exactly.
I'm sorry, what?
Sorry, my Instagram had something
But
on it.
it literally is a lot. Like when I check your stories, and I swipe through them all, but there's like 50 stories a day. Doesn't that take energy away from Like, isn't that exhausting? Isn't there a day that you're
It
just
actually
like, I don't
is.
do this?
It actually, I'm gonna be honest with you. It feels like work, and
Well,
to be honest, it is work
Yeah.
because that's like basically your Instagram nowadays is basically your resume. It's not even, they don't even look at your resume as much as they do now, like especially in the field I'm in, your Instagram. It's, oh, how, like, what are you doing? What are you going to? What are you representing? And you have to keep up with it because yes, it's an up and down market. You know, you're gonna lose people, you're gonna gain people.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure you're always on the up. So personally, I honestly have to spend so much time on it, and some days you just don't want to do it. You don't want to feel like being on a camera.
And I don't.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And you have
Or you're
to
having a
do
bad
it. You
day.
have to throw on that dog filter and you have to say, I'm feeling great today. What are you guys up to?
I wonder in the future if there's going to be some like psyche, like some mental disease that comes out of this whole Instagram, because there's a depression when some people lose a chunk of followers. We're going to be hitting Instagram where we're not going to know who likes you or who
And
doesn't
I
like
hate
you.
that. I hate
Well,
that.
that's income for a lot of people too.
I'm just, yeah,
know
it's
that.
income, number one. And number two, if you're already these people that are affected by other people's thoughts on Instagram, it's an app, guys. It's a free app. It's not even a
But
paid
it really
app.
does play with people's psyche,
It
especially
does.
in
I agree.
entertainment.
But
Yeah.
these are very
Yeah.
sensitive people. But at the same time, changing this one thing that everyone knows is not going to change that problem with that person. You're going to bump into another app that's going to have the same problem, or a person, or a club you don't think represents you right, and you're going to
That's a
always
good
have something
point.
to change. It's never going to change. It's something you have to change within yourself, I believe.
Look at Nick go be all deep in shiz.
That's
Does,
because I
does it
haven't
take you out of the
finished.
moment though? I always wonder that when I see people
That's
like
how I
at a
feel.
party. I'm like, is it taking them out of the moment or
I'm
allowing
gonna
them
be
to live the moment?
100% honest
Or
with
a
you.
combination. I don't know.
A lot of the time, we're not even like ready to film something, and we're like, okay, you ready for this? We have people like lighting it up. We're like, okay, let's take us. Oh my God, we're here at GPS. Oh my God, it's so fun. Look at all the lights and colors.
Don't get me wrong. I'm happy you do
I
it.
mean,
but
Oh,
no,
yeah, for
no. I
GPS,
mean, your
that's
lighting, 100%, like amazing. The best lighting I've ever seen. Your light shows, amazing.
But then, like, to missing out though, you're not connecting. You're not having
You're
like
not
spontaneous.
missing
Like
out,
you're in the
you
car
just-
and you like want to moon the car next. That was like those are spontaneous memory building things, not posed memories
Well,
that
you
are not.
have those. You have those, but you
sincere.
also you remember those times through those videos. You know, you go out of
Yeah.
your way to film those videos, even if you aren't feeling the best about yourself, and you say, "I can't wait to remember this tomorrow," because I may not remember it in 10 minutes.
It's like a memory that I feel like some people, not me, unfortunately, have tried to get into it, but I feel like some people live the moment through sharing it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
live the moment and then they look back on it and see how many people saw it as well, and it makes it a bigger moment
See, that's
because it was
what I
shared
don't
with
understand.
people that weren't there
Yeah,
with them.
and
In a
people
weird
that
way.
don't get to experience that. That's what I say about Instagram all the time. I was like, I don't go on Instagram. You won't see my profile. It's not professional photo. It's me hanging out with my friends. It's me being stupid in the car because it's me like, because I want Instagram. When I was growing up, I grew up in a small town. So whenever I never thought about going to red carpets or traveling the world or anything like that. So I had to live through other people's views of that. And now that I have the
creating your own.
opportunity to do that, I'm sharing those moments with everybody else too,
Right.
so they can have the same
Which is
experience
exciting.
and then make them do it too.
I just think balance is important.
It is.
Because
With
we
anything.
we end up constantly living as if someone else is watching.
Living somebody else's moment.
And yes. And the whole, to me, the whole idea of life is to live each moment for yourself and
Yeah.
for your own gratification. Because I'm
Gratified.
selfish.
I would say to my staff.
And I feel like you're more engaged and connected to the person that you're sitting next to if I'm not concerned about holding something up. So I do think, and I realize I agree with you. I know this is a whole new era. I'm older than you, baby. So like my life has not always been like that, and it is something that I struggle with because I love looking in your eyes. Like I love people more than anything.
So I shouldn't put the
think
sunglasses back on.
Yeah, I
Right?
think people are freaking awesome. So sometimes if I'm into like me and what I'm doing, I'd miss out on like experiencing you.
Okay, she's gonna make me
It's
cry.
hard.
in a
It's hard.
second, though. I'm like,
It's
No,
hard for
but
me
it's-
too.
It's so good. And for musicians that I've had on the show, they'll release a single and they'll put out their, the 30-second to fit, or the 2 minutes to fit the Instagram
Right.
feed, or the 15 seconds smushed together to do a brief from the video, and it gets likes. Or they do like a sexy picture of them or a shirtless selfie with some of the guy musicians, and then it gets these huge likes. And it's like, well, my skill and my passion is this, and that seems to sometimes be swept away with just the imagery. There's no like Instagram that's just audio for musicians to be like, wow, I got off on that section of the song.
Right. It's just visual. Yeah.
yeah, well, they came out with a show to fix that. Thank God.
It's opened things up, but I think it's good to share moments, but I think it's also important to create a moment for somebody else. I always tell my staff, I'm like, the word power, for example, has been corrupted because people think of power and they think of Trump or they think of Putin. And I'm like, every single person that works with me has a very unique power. And I'm like, you have the ability to find somebody who doesn't look like they're having the best night and change their night and create a moment with them that they remember. And that moment is more valuable than anything they could ever get off Instagram. That bartender who tells somebody they look good, that security guard who says, hi, I like your t-shirt, that hot dancer who's like, oh my God, your body looks rocking. Those are the moments that truly define who we are as a community and how we should interact with each other. Not to say that the other moments don't mean something, but I always tell my staff, the same way you can find that, 1 minute to Instagram, find 1 minute to say something nice to somebody that's at our event.
Oh my God.
And that's what Pride should be about. We're getting into Pride, and we're talking about inclusivity. Some LGBT groups don't want to deal with other LGBT groups, or they want to put them down, or they want to put down straight people that are trying to be allies or that want to hang out with us. And so that's such an important point. Our part of Pride is to make everybody feel inclusive, not just us in the safety of West Hollywood, not just us in the safety of working out 40 hours a day.
Well, it's called a community for a reason.
Well, yeah, but we need to act like a community.
Yeah, it's all part of expression though too, because I see people getting annoyed, for example, like at bars where there'll be like a bunch of straight girls filming the dancers because it's Instagram. But I feel like
having a bachelorette party,
right? But I feel like if those girls went up to the dancer and was like, oh my God, I grew up in a small town and I never thought I'd see something like this, and you just made my night, it would be received much better. So I think there's a disconnect sometimes, and again, it's back to the same topic. Those moments are fine, but don't forget about the real moments too. Not that they're not real, but create those one-on-one moments too.
Communication, people.
Communication.
Oh God, communication.
Sharing the experience with the people that you're actually having it with, not just the little group that you're with. And those girls,
That's
the
so
bachelorette
true
party
in
girls, are
LA.
like, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh my God, it's like, there
It
are other
was
people
amazing.
here.
Until
Other people here.
Or you're like having a conversation with them while you're taking a selfie, and then it's done, and like, okay.
People forgot that.
Yeah.
At Stripper Circus, I had those games for the sole purpose of forcing people to interact with strangers.
Oh, that's a...
People would play these games.
And they always did.
I've
Always
gone
did.
to
And they were the
Circus.
stupidest, like they were dumb.
They
It
were
was
like dildo
the
throwing
dildo
through a
toss.
hole
But you know what it did? It forced people to
about
talk
that.
to each other. And with strangers, it forced people to interact with a stranger. They had to go up to the drag queen or whoever was operating the game and interact with them, and then they had to interact with the other people who were waiting to play the game, playing the game next. And that social interaction, people were like, I don't know what it is about that party. There's just, I'm like, I know what it is. You're interacting with people, and you've forgotten how good that feels.
Yes.
This is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the problems we're having, the massive division we're having in this country right now, is people not talking to each other.
Yeah.
When you know somebody, truly know them. I mean, I think certainly gay people have achieved more by people just getting to know gay people. How can people hate us? We're so much fun.
Hey, we're trending right now. Excuse me.
Right?
We are. Everyone wants to be gay now.
And I think because also the media is putting a hyper version of what the LGBT community is. The gay person is your cubicle next to you at work, or it's your neighbor, or is your brother, or is your best friend from high school that you haven't talked to.
Your kid.
These are people, right?
Your kid that hasn't been born yet.
That's even... Exactly. Like, these are just people that live around us. It's not like Will and Grace, so this is how we live. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but still, it's a hyper version of...
And hate's been desensitized. Like, my mother would always say hate is a strong word. She's like, we never use that word hate in my house. And even like when we were fighting as kids, if we ever said, I hate you, my mother would... She's like, that word, she'd stop. And even as kids, she'd like, hate is a strong word. My mother always said that. Do not say I hate you to anybody, not to your sister, not to your friends. She's like, you need to understand what hate means and the history of that word. And my mother's like, that is a word you should never, ever, ever use. That word to my mom was worse than the F word or anything. She ingrained it into our brains to never use the word hate. And I feel like some people use it so freely. Just saying I hate French fries or I hate, just
loser.
It's a bad word.
Loser gets used too much by a
I
certain
grew up in
person.
the same way. Hate was a bad word. Hate was a cuss word. Hate was a cuss word for our family.
Calling somebody a loser, saying I hate you, even if you're in jest with somebody, I don't say I hate you to people ever.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous word, I think.
It is. It's just it's a period at the end of a sentence. You don't
and
expect
it
to come back from
devalues the word for the moment when we need to use it and say that person is hateful or that person
that's actually
because
very
it should
true.
have that impact when you say that.
Right.
All right, well, we are definitely getting the show on the road. Let me formally introduce our guest, Debbie Holliday, multiple Billboard charting musician. Debbie Holliday has been a vocal, pun intended, ally to the LGBT community and hits Pride season with a number of appearances across the nation, including locally at Laguna Beach Pride and with our friends out at the fair for Alameda County Fair. Don't forget Out at the Fair. She first warmed our hearts with her hit, Half a Mile Away, played for the final episode of Queer as Folk, which is being rebooted, by the way.
Yes!
Let's get Debbie back in the first episode, too. She's been rocking the industry since, sharing the stage with some of the greatest names we're going to talk about, and writing for herself as well for other powerhouses on the scene. Her music has appeared on The Office, Sordid Lives, The L Word, MTV, E! Entertainment, FX, and she's performed on The View and The David Letterman Show. Music has been a part of her childhood since the early beginning. Her father was the family's original chart topper and wrote hits that were sung by Ray Charles, Sonny and Cher, Kenny Rogers, and Dottie West. Her latest album, Free to Be, is a representation of her eclectic history in and love for music, a marriage of rock and dance. Please welcome, for the first time on the Rocks, Debbie Holliday!
Yay! Hi!
Also joining us, Paul Nicholls. I've heard Paul Nicholls' name. I've seen his face everywhere. I've been to many of his events. Paul produces more weekly events than any other LGBT promoter in the country, including his wildly popular Stripper Circus brand with locations in LA, Las Vegas, San Diego, Austin, Houston, and Seattle. He brings his extensive club expertise to GPS parties, and if you don't know what it is, put in GPS party, and GTFO, which is new.
Rocco's.
Yeah, Rocco's,
which is also
owned by Lance Bass, and you've had what, 2 Fridays?
I think you're
Three. Yeah, I think this last weekend was number 3.
I'm not coming to this Friday, but I'm coming to the Friday
much
after.
He's like, no, I know.
I know.
No, it's 3.
It's on my bar tab. I know.
Yeah, he's been there for all 3. So.
Oh, there's a bar tab? Never mind. So welcome, Paul Nicholls, also making
Thank you
his
for having
debut.
me here. Yay. And next to Debbie. Debbie's been there since before it was cool.
Can I ask you a question?
No, but that's really, really
now it's
true.
a cool thing to perform in gay clubs and for gay pride. She was doing it before it was cool.
Can I get you to just tell us what all your abbreviations mean? GPS, GTFO, just
Gladly.
say it, please.
GPS means primarily Gay Party Saturday, but it also means gay Pride Saturday, Gay Pride Sunday, and when we do fundraisers, it means give proudly and support.
So it's very versatile.
And it was
very
designed to
versatile.
actually mean that. I remember I was sitting at
I was like, GPS, where to find your gays. That's what I thought.
It's a
I've been
multifunctional acronym.
I've been looking
Multifunctional.
what that's actually named, and I've heard 8 different people who hang out there all the time, and they're like, oh, it means this, and I'm like, oh, cool, and they're like, no, it means this, and I'm like,
the
no,
weird
it
thing
means
is
this.
every party we have a massive moment before the confetti comes out and the voice of God says, "Welcome to GPS Gay Party Saturday," and it flashes it on the screen. But I think people are so gone by that point.
Yeah.
No one even notices it. And they'll ask me like 10 minutes later, "What does it mean?"
Arnold Schwarzenegger recorded that? That was like an Arnold
Right?
Schwarzenegger voice.
Welcome to GPS. It literally, it's one of our DJ's voices slowing down. It actually came, what you said about the bachelorette parties. I was actually sitting at a club, a bar in West Hollywood, and there was all these bachelorette parties around me, and I said to my friend, I literally said, "Oh my God, what do you need to do to find a gay party Saturday these days?" And then I was like, "Find Gay Party Saturday. Oh my God, you use your GPS to find things." And I went home and registered all the websites and filed for the trademark. Believe it or not, I somehow got the trademark for GPS, which is bizarre,
Yeah,
but
it's
crazy.
I was happy
Yeah.
I did. And that's our whole hashtag is find your GPS, find your Gay Party Saturday. And by that, it also means find your community, find back to the whole narrative that is kind of what motivates me.
And so Saturday nights are still the night to go out, if you were to look at demographics.
Yes.
So there's so many different thoughts on that, and I guess as you age through the community, the night you go out or the time of day you go out changes, but that's still...
Saturday's still it, and a GTFO, the other one, actually means a couple things. It means get this Friday on, and it means gay the fuck out.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's about, again, go out, be gay, be yourself. The whole theme of the night is very much about it. We hand out, like as you saw, like little crop tops for the guys to wear. There's a moment where you have space unicorns. The dancers literally dress up as space unicorns, get on the go-go boxes, and hand out hundreds of unicorn rubber duckies that people put in their drinks and carry around and put in their
love it.
bathroom. And I think it's just
it's
reminding
so much
people, it's West Hollywood. It's a city that was frankly made cool by the gays, and we love our straight allies. And by the way, we love our straight allies to come there and gay the fuck out. But that's what it's all about,
And I
just
can tell
being
you,
your
when
gay
you walk
self.
into
And gay means
Rocco's-
happy, so you can be straight.
Well, I
and
love
gay
that
at the
you're
same time.
doing that because
Exactly.
when you
everybody
pass
get
out
the
stuff
fuck-
like that and make it so original and you
So
make it so
dumb.
different, it's good because you're passing out things. You're making it like it's an event. Like
Yeah.
every Friday is an event. I'm not just going to a bar, paying for my own drinks, partying with my friends. I'm going to an event that's made for me to come out and have a great time.
And the event is trying to have fun with you. I hate when you go to
gotta
an
be
event and everybody's
silly.
like, uh-huh.
These are
It's
parties. It's
like,
let's be silly.
Let's be fun. Let's take
And
stupid
anybody
photos
who thinks any different when they get handed a unicorn by a dancer dressed as a space unicorn, they're like, okay, this is a place where I feel like when you go to a party at somebody's house, the person welcomes you and you feel welcome. And I feel like all too often when people go to clubs or nightlife events, they feel like they need to prove why they're there or prove their worth or prove their presence. And as gay people, we grow up feeling that way. So I want to create the opposite environment. Like at GPS, when my security checks people's IDs, they say, welcome home. That's what they say.
Oh, I love it.
Instead of saying, okay, you're good, or all right, or what year, they say, take a look at the ID, they look at the person, they say, welcome home. And sometimes people are like, excuse me? And they'll say, welcome home. And it just, that's how a party should feel. When we party as a community, we are home, and I want to make it feel that way.
Oh, God.
I love that. This is
Oh,
fun.
God, girl.
So, and Debbie, you have a long-running relationship with the LGBT community. Like Paul said, you were appearing in gay clubs before it was cool. Of course, Queer as Folk, being part of that, part of TV history. To your numerous Pride events and your work with Del Shores. How did this involvement with the community start? Because it's really become, it's not like you were a musician that would come to like a charity event or come to a benefit and then be out of it. You have really enriched yourself with the LGBT community.
It was a completely natural trajectory. One of my best friends, who's not with us anymore, Andrew Briskin, got drunk one night and took one of my rock songs and sent it to Chris Cox. And he took, because I grew up in rock and roll, and I didn't even know what a remix was. And Andrew was gay and sent it to Chris Cox, and next thing I knew, I started my own label, and I was embraced for the things I had to say by the gay community. The things I have to say is, you matter. Don't let anyone fucking tell you that you don't. And exactly who you are is awesome.
Amen.
And she said it when people needed to hear it more than ever.
Right.
And
that's a great message. But when we look at the business aspect of music, just like when an actor decides to come out, does that limit your career potential? Did you get any pushback from the mainstream music community? It's like, oh, now she's a gay artist.
I've had pushback my whole life. Because I grew up in an industry that really likes to put you in a box.
Yeah.
Like, I'm black, I should be singing this, I should be rapping, I should be doing, you have to fit in this little, and I grew up loving, David Bowie and Alice Cooper and rock and roll and heavy metal, and, I was the 10-year-old dressed up as Alice Cooper when all the other girls were wearing...
I love that.
Right? Freaking private school. I went to Harvard West, so all the girls are in, their little, Halloween, and, they're just in their little princess dresses, and I came as, the rock chick. So I totally get what it's like to not necessarily fit into a box. And I had, frankly, white guys in rock and roll going what are you doing here? As I swept the floor with them, is, being honest.
I love that. I love being out of that. Being honest.
Being honest, But I had a lot of pushback about being who I naturally am. I also love Tchaikovsky. I also love dance music. I also love country. You're allowed to like more than one thing. You're allowed to express yourself in any way that feels right. And that's what my record, Free to Be, was about, because it's half rock and half dance. And so I think
it's all fun.
It's all fun. I think I get the gay community because I think anyone who's considered other, man, we got to stick together.
Yeah.
Because what a beautiful bouquet of coolness that is, So yeah, so it was a natural and easy thing.
And you were talking about your upbringing, like we said, your father. He wrote for.
He wrote a lot of songs.
Yeah.
He was very famous. Yeah,
Ray Charles, I saw that.
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
wrote "Put a Little Love in Your Heart,"
Co-wrote
which is a huge hit. "Put a Little Love in Your Heart," yeah.
And Sonny and Cher.
And Sonny and Cher.
What did
and they actually did
they
it.
Performed, yeah.
They did
performed
a
that.
whole song.
I saw that and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, they did a couple of his songs.
How does that feel? No,
Yeah.
I have to know, because I'm not in music or anything like that, but I have to know, to have that expectation of your family thinking, okay, this is where I'm at. How much pressure does that put on for you?
It made me a bit of a perfectionist. list. Definitely.
I figure.
Yeah.
I definitely figure.
Yeah.
How scared would you have to be?
Yeah.
I would be so scared. I
Yeah.
just told my friend in the car. I was like, okay, I wouldn't get into the music industry if my father was this person, because
Yeah.
that pressure that they must have for you, or not even have for you, but then you should feel because of their success. How do you
It's a
feel
blessing
that?
and a curse, because I remember being 7 years old and you know, just singing along. My dad going, "Hey, you flat." And I'm like,
I did the same thing.
I'm 7.
I did the same thing. My mom goes, "Hey, you're gay." I was like, "Oh, da, da, da." She's like, "Hey, you're gay."
But were you able to have fun with music? When was the first time you performed for real as a youth? Do you remember the first time you
Well, you know what? It's funny. I did not want to follow in my dad's footsteps. I wanted to be a ballerina. I was going to be. Yeah, I took French in high school instead of Spanish. Growing up in LA, brain trust.
And then she moved to California. And
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
she's like, needs
You
Spanish.
probably still speak Spanish better than I do. I can't even order at Taco
I live
Bell.
in Los Angeles.
I know where the bathroom. I can ask for the bathroom, girl.
Girl.
So yeah, first
Ball.
time I think I was like 13, and I had my like really bad strumming on my guitar, and I heard the applause and went like,
Now,
Like, yeah.
when was the first time that you really performed professionally and your dad was there?
he was never there. Wow. Yeah, that's a whole nother Oprah. Yeah, he wasn't there. He was not able to be there.
Oh.
They had to take him away.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a book.
Okay.
Yeah, I would read that
What's
book.
the name of that book?
It's several
It's a
novels.
musical. It's well, you know, everybody's having a biopic now. And talking about first, Paul, what was the first event that you really like produced? And it could be like the smallest hole in the wall
No,
place.
I
Like,
know it well. I'll never forget it. It was Heaven at Tiger Heat, which was
Oh
my
my God,
first
Tiger
event.
Heat.
Yeah.
Tiger Heat.
That's
Where was
how-
Tiger Heat?
That was at.
Athletic?
I met you there actually. That was at Arena.
And that's the 18. That's 18 and up.
It was 18 and over, and
that's everybody's kind of first club in,
Yeah.
in LA.
it's a lot of history at once. But I my background, and I still manage actors, and came to Hollywood as a talent agent. And one of my clients, who I still manage, is Iceman in the X-Men movies, and we had done one of the first world premieres ever. Because movies used to not start airing, they used to air differently in different markets.
Yeah.
And of course, they were all getting ripped off. So they all of a sudden changed to where movies now pretty much start airing everywhere at the same time. And X-Men 2 in Leicester Square in London was one of the very first world premieres. So to make it international, they held it in Leicester Square in London, and it was one of the most massive premieres I'd ever been to. And of course, Ian McKellen is gay, and you know the director of the movie, Bryan Singer, is gay, and
James Marsden's gay.
you know,
I wish.
and who knows? But the joke with Ian McKellen is Sir Ian McKellen. He loved to call himself Serena. He's like, instead of Serena, call me Serena. And he was just a fun guy, and so they wanted to go to a gay club, and I know this guy there, and he said, "Oh, I'll take you to Heaven. They have this VIP room called the Departure Lounge, and it has its own air conditioning and bathroom. It's like a party within the party, and it's so much fun. You can be in the party, but if you're a big celebrity, you can kind of hang out." And we went to this club, and I'm like, "How does something like this not exist in LA?" And I said to them, I said, "If I could start something like this in LA, I manage actors. Would you be interested in lending me your name?" And this was Heaven London. And they said, sure. They said, we're looking at maybe opening in LA one day, so it'll be a good way to get our name out there, and you can build a guest list. And Heaven Lounge was formed.
But how did you even know? Like, how did you take care of all the particulars of that?
The irony was, it was bizarre because I kind of threw a party and didn't invite anybody. How LA, right? But we put out an ad
Yeah.
that said Heaven above Tiger Heat, members only by invitation only, for information, and then we put an email. And we had people do everything from sending us their dick pics to sending us their bank statements, to managers and agents calling us, and I brought in some hosts as well, and we built up this guest list. And at Heaven, I had everybody from Elton John to Britney Spears to Janet Jackson debuted her new track there. We had everybody, like everybody walked through that club, and it was this bizarre thing, and it was at Arena. It wasn't this fancy, and one of the jokes at Heaven was, we were the first club to do bottle service, and we had some big celebrity coming in, and the owner said, "Oh, it's celebrity, just can't give them a bottle, give them some food." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a good idea." He's like, "Put like a nice little thing on the table." And in my head, I'm like,
Put a
"Yeah."
smear together.
No, in my head, I'm like, they're gonna put some wasabi peas or something. And I thought it would be something nice. And I see the lady coming out, and she has a Party City tray, and in
With
it
the
she has.
plastic still on it?
Oh no, it gets even better. No, that would have been nice. No, it was an empty one, and she had filled it with the only things they had, which was bar cherries, bar olives, and goldfish crackers.
Goldfish crackers actually.
Well,
that
let
would
me
be
tell
okay.
you, that became a thing
Oh my God,
that
that's so
people
funny.
in the know and celebrities would ask, be like, hey, can we have the goldfish crackers? So it kind of became this secret code. If you were on like the inside track of heaven, you'd know to ask for the goldfish crackers. And we always had
The secret menu.
we always had bowls
Yeah.
of goldfish crackers that people would eat. And that's where it all started. And it's a very long story from there, but and because
love
of that.
I absolutely love that. And if you don't know, at GPS they actually have snacks
Yes.
all on all the
Now I
tables.
pride
in
myself on my
in
snacks.
the
Oh, people
VIP
don't-
section. They have fruit snacks. They have
Gushers.
Snickers. They have
Gushers.
everything.
Gay people
Chocolates.
don't eat. Please.
I'm over here. Oh, lies. We eat when no one's watching.
Let me tell you, I have the
We
receipts.
eat when
I
no
have
one's
receipts from
watching.
those snacks. Let me tell you.
You should see my
They
pockets
eat.
when I leave that GPS. I literally
We
am
had
in the
to-
Uber like.
We had to ration the Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were disappearing, and
They're good in vodka though. If you put them in vodka, they soak up the vodka, and you can chew them while you're dancing. And
Well,
all
and I
that
think
stuff.
the boys would bring them. These guys are not wearing much, a lot of them, and I would see people leaving with just, you could see the Sour Patch through
Sour
their
Patch
short
pockets.
shorts.
I
They
would-
had Sour Patch pockets.
I'm not
Pockets
saying that
full of
I
Sour
take a
Patch.
lot of them, but I'm just saying that I now have a stock. And
They are a ration snack. They are
You down
now
with
handed out on a
SPP?
silver platter.
did you go to
the new single by Debby Holliday.
Sour Patch Pockets.
I love their commercials, though, by the way. But I want to say that, so many people come to LA and they have an idea to do something, or they always criticize, oh, it should be this way, this way.
Yeah.
You took that idea and worked hard to do it, and I think you can speak to that. And Nick, you've been in the business for a very short time. It is that hard work that you have to do. You can't
Yeah.
just have a good idea. You can't expect other people to do your job for you either.
You can't.
You got
But there's this new generation, and
I
maybe
love your
think-
accents, girl. You have like a different one every time we talk to you, and it's kind of like a I don't know, split vibe, but I'm
Yeah.
totally into it.
My
think we
boyfriend gets
could-
to wake up to someone new every night.
we could all say the same thing. I think the three
Same,
of
but
us
not in the same way.
is we all built our fans or followings or guests or customers or whatever we want to call them one at a time. And I think you can build them one at a time and you can lose them one at a time. And that's just something I never forget. I think every single person that comes to one of my events, I genuinely appreciate them being there. And
That was a lot louder than I thought it would be, girl.
Story being poured in the background.
live.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It
story.
sounded like the movie theater with Coca-Cola.
No, and I appreciate them. And it's the same thing with artists like Debbie. I think, the music, but also the experience with how people connect with her is a whole nother level. And I think, like you were talking, back to the Instagram of it. No, but creating that connection with people.
That's what I agree with you. Like it's not just as much as I want to sort of like follow suit and like see how many followers I get, and I care. I honestly, in my heart and my soul, I care less about how many people are following me than I care about like the one. Facebook inbox message I got from a gay soldier who said, "Thank you for getting me through Iraq."
Wow.
Yeah.
That I'm like,
It's
I
an
don't even know
inspiration.
Instagrams.
Well, girl, you got that.
She
That's
sings
beautiful.
for people, not to people.
There's
and that's the
dichotomy
truth.
too, though. Radio stations like, oh, how many followers do they have? Do we need to play their song? Or even
Exactly.
actors
Yes.
go to an audition.
Like-
Now you go to an audition, you sign in your name, and you put in your Instagram
Yes.
account and how many
Crazy.
followers.
They
media
want to see how
followers.
many
That's so
followers you have.
ridiculous.
You can be extremely talented and not have a lot of followers
Exactly.
yet.
You know how many models that are so successful that don't have a high following?
Yeah.
Because they're on the fronts of magazines and billboards. They're not over here trying to build followers.
That's right.
But the thing about this world is now, I have a degree in marketing communications, and I had a segment of one of my classes a semester fully about social media now. I know when my parents,
There's
my dad was
degrees
saying
now
to
in
me,
social media. There are actually
you're a
degrees
social
in
media
social media.
specialist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause there's money in
And
it.
it's the thing is that it is the rising market for advertisement,
Yeah.
period.
It
It
is,
is a
yeah.
business.
Oh, it is.
No
It,
question.
it
Business.
started out as here's a picture of myself to this is how I'm running my business. I know myself alone and a lot of other of my friends, they're all influencers. We get paid through Instagram. And
Yeah.
that funds our rent. That funds when
Yeah.
we go out. That funds our what we eat. And it's become so much of a business. It's not like here's a picture of a group picture of friends. It's I can't post this group picture because it will get less likes. So I
Or
need
people
to
who
post
post
it.
solo pictures because exactly,
Exactly, because
or,
they're not
or
here
not with
to
them and their
see your
boyfriend. Because if they
friends,
posted it
they're
solo,
here to see you.
it gets more likes because
Yeah.
they seem more accessible.
Yes.
That's where it gets a little tricky and a little dangerous.
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
That's the air conditioning being fixed. Just
What did
kidding.
I say?
Just kidding, it's not fixed.
So we do like a little like impromptu rapid fire, just very quickly, whatever comes to your mind. Nothing really earth shattering. Superhero you would want to be, male or female?
The
I
Flash.
could totally see that. In a heartbeat, I could see that.
I guess I'll say Iceman because I'm biased.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know her name. It's the bald black woman in come on in.
You're talking about
oh my God.
Black Panther.
In Black Panther.
Yes.
yes.
Oh, yes. Strong as fuck, girl.
I just
She is-
love her.
Oh my
fierce.
God, she is
She's
beautiful
strong
too.
and sexy.
Oh my
I
God.
would
That's
love
the word, fierce.
for you to
She's
have.
so fierce.
I would love for you to have a dance anthem for Black Panther too.
I'm okay.
She's
Let's
like, I'm
do it.
available.
I'm in.
I'll be
Let's
picking
You
do
can
it.
reach me here.
You just write members only on the email, and you'll trust me. I'll
Yeah,
say it.
that's
Yeah,
it.
there you go. It'll
Just
be popping,
say,
girl.
I do not want to have a dance anthem, and then they'll start calling you.
Where are the goldfish?
No, sorry,
crackers?
not
Where are
interested.
the
I'm
goldfish?
busy.
I was gonna say this is the goldfish.
Play it the other way.
Can
Play
I get
the other
around the
way.
goldfish for my
To
friends?
Google her
please?
name now.
Not interested.
Worst gift you've ever received could be from a fan, could be from a loved one, could be just like, I can't believe I got this gift. Paul, you go first.
Oh my God.
God.
Oh,
Oh dear, what has somebody
If they're
given me?
watching, they'd know.
I mean, I've gotten, like, I could say fruitcakes, but that's so typical. But, oh, I know what it is. Somebody gave me egg rolls that his mother had made, which was very sweet.
That's sweet.
But he had them at a club for like 6 hours, you know.
Oh,
And, yeah.
they were like, we didn't
It
eat
was
these,
very,
here's
it was
this.
very sweet. It was a thought that counts. But they were egg rolls that had kind of been all over West Hollywood and in the club for 6 hours. So with the egg rolls, I feel like they absorbed the must of the party.
Yeah, that's not a good
That was
gift.
an odd
Sounds
gift, but
good.
it was very sweet.
musty egg rolls.
Yeah.
It was very sweet. If that person is listening, I still appreciated the thought.
But it's up
Sometimes
there.
a
It's
gift
up there.
certificate to Panda Express would
They were
suffice.
actually lumpia, technically.
Oh, I love lumpia.
yes.
I'm half Filipino,
actually
so I'm
lumpia.
all about that.
I
Oh,
want to
you
give them
really?
credit.
I did not know that.
Yes.
Yeah,
So there you go. You know what those are.
Oh.
And I know it's a very personal thing.
It is because
For
it takes
Filipino
a while. You have to
families.
make it. You have
Takes
to
a
make
while.
it.
Right, and it
takes
was a
while to
mother
make.
who
Yeah.
made the lumpia, and I think if they had just come to my house as opposed to a trip around West Hollywood and everything that goes with that, but it was an odd gift. I wouldn't say I didn't like it. I appreciated it, but yeah.
Debbie.
Someone had been to one show, took a photograph, and then came to the next show. I had someone who followed me for a while, and I haven't seen him in a while. And hopefully he's not watching. And it was a photograph of he and I from one of our last shows, and it was one of those like just off stage. I was dripping in sweat. The mascaras, like the lash was a little off, and I was just like, and he's like, "I have this for you. Here, like put them." Like, oh, great, a photograph of how disgusting I looked that day. Thank you so much.
I think that's sweet.
It was sweet though, because I to his face, I was like, "Oh, this is the best ever."
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I did that to Patti LuPone, and she has a restraining order on me. I went to her concert. We took a picture together, and I went to her next one, and then I was there waiting for her, and they're like, "Oh, she's sick. She can't." I was like, "She just sang for 2 hours. She's not sick. She hit that high E."
She's afraid of you.
So she signed it and sent it back real fast.
See, that's why
Yeah.
we feel bad. Our gifts came from true fans, from
Right.
people who, from the
I know.
heart, like you, in that
Yeah.
moment, he didn't notice that. You were
didn't.
beautiful
Yeah.
to him, and
Yeah.
I'm sure this guy loved his mother's lumpia more than
Well, and he
anything.
loved
So
you.
he
He
was
wanted to share
trying to
part of
share
his
something with
family.
me. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
gift
Now I
is
just feel like
definitely
shit.
different.
Now
My gift-
me and Debbie are awful people. all the good stuff we've said leading
I
up to
know.
this just
It's
went to
all
shit
negated.
because of
It
your
equals
rapid
out.
fire.
Equals out. Equals out.
In the words of Dale Dickey, I'm a horrible, horrible
no.
Love Dale Dickey.
We got tricked by the
love
rapid
Dale
fire.
Dickey. Nick, I'm almost afraid to ask this one.
All right. Mine was also given by a fan. So, I work for Andrew Christian. I'm a role model. So my spam is basically filled with, let me buy your dirty used underwear.
Yeah.
That's like every mother
a
message.
weird
It's
thing.
like, hey, you're an inspiration. Hey, let me have your old underwear.
But it's like $300 to $500. I've heard it's like $300 to $500.
No,
That
it's a
people
lot.
really
No, you
appreciate.
can sell them for a lot. I personally don't do it because I'm stingy. I'm like, okay, I wore them, so they're mine. So
If
don't
they send them to you, it's not like you're buying them.
What? Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I'm not gonna go send my used underwear to.
I'm getting a really awful idea
$500
now because I do tons of bags of laundry of dancers' underwear.
Oh, girl,
If it's fall off the truck,
monetize.
yeah.
But
we
my honest
Give it to charity.
my honest gift was actually I received a pair of used underwear from a fan.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and you know what? I picked
Bless
them
his
up,
heart.
not
Same
knowing.
as us, also something very
Bless-
I
thoughtful.
opened it thinking I ordered something
To
from
share himself
Amazon.
with you.
I opened it up. I'm like, is this from my mother? Who is this from? I open it up. I hold them up. I'm like,
Oh, God,
these
no.
are kind of cute. And then I read a little note inside that says they're used.
Oh, no.
Could you tell they were used right
And
after
I
that?
couldn't.
This is
And
where it gets
that's why it was the worst
interesting.
part because I was over here like,
We want
ooh,
details.
what are
You're
these?
touching
I'm
it.
like, what brand is this? I'm like, okay, cool. These are a cute color. And then I'm like, they're used. And I look at them a little more detailed and I'm like, oh.
No stains or
No, I wouldn't say they were not stains, girl, but there
Rough
was a
patches.
smell.
Okay.
There was a smell.
All right. Anyway, so glad for that.
Family-friendly show.
Bless his heart.
It's hard. From the chat room, Sean Chavez wants to know, Nick, was the drama on the Andrew Christian reality show contest as intense as it looked, or was it just for the camera?
Okay. Honestly, okay. So we
Your
started.
friend here has an opinion.
We started out as okay. We're gonna.
Thank you, Sean, by the
They
way.
told us we're gonna record you guys doing the model search contest, and it'll be a fun experience. We'll have everything backed up, and then it worked out really well for the first episode. So then they started getting very reality on us. They were like, "We're gonna film this little moment. It's called the confession room. We won't tell anybody what you said."
That's
And
the first
you
red
go in
flag.
there. We go in there and you say, be your own Britney Spears. She's like, she's done it. She's talked about it. It's all for TV. So, of course, I go in there. They're like, be honest. Just say it. And it's like, no one's going to harm you for it. You don't leave. You leave, and you leave work at home. So we came in, and, of course, I was the loudmouth because I have a loud mouth. I walk in there. I go, so here's the tea. And I just list it all out. Apparently, the next day, everyone hated me. And so the reality of it is...
Why would you even think that it's just...
Bless his heart.
Yeah.
You know what? I was from Pensacola, Florida, and I didn't know that LA literally just focuses on what you have to say and how far it can go.
And the
It's
drama.
not, and don't get
The
mad.
drama.
I learned my
The
first
drama.
thing I got after doing that show and all these people ending up hating me and disliking me. I left work and I was like, God, I'm doing something wrong. And you know, my friend told me, he goes like, when they're not talking bad about you, that's when you should be worried.
Well, but they could also be talking about you for something good too. But I get it.
I think no. What
you're
I'm
a
saying
fan
is,
favorite because you have your own
I
opinions
thought
and
that
personalities.
everyone disliking me was a bad thing, but I realized it's because I had such a voice and because I decided I'm going to be myself and I'm not going to fall into whatever they're doing, that they hated me because of that, because I was different and because I was standing out because I was different. And I was okay with that. After the whole experience of filming that, I was okay with it.
Well, and there is the reality TV aspect too, where producers kind of go that on. And
I bait you.
Yeah, of course
I've
they
had
do.
so many
But I
friends
would
on
say
reality
everything
shows.
from reality shows is not made up. It's based on true facts, but
That is true.
exaggerated.
Shaw's on
Yeah.
Sunset, and I can verify that's some real stuff
And
going on.
sometimes
'cause
they
I'm
mix up
friends.
the
They
scenes.
focus
They mix
on
it
the
up.
drama.
They definitely cut out a lot of words.
Yeah, it's like if you have a 6-hour day and an hour of it is dramatic, the hour of
Or like
drama
10
is going to
minutes,
end up. Yeah.
And I have to give a special thank you. I was the MC for Vanderpump World Dog Day, and all the Vanderpump
Oof.
Rules kids were backstage, and they just went through a 3-part reunion that eviscerated everybody on that show. I have to tell you, they showed up for the event. They were polite. Whether or not they were hanging out with each other is beside the point, because everybody was backstage, and they took pictures with the fans. They were there for Lisa and for the Mission of the Dogs. That is
That's cool.
respectable.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
good for you,
That's cool.
kids. Talking about being your own person, Debbie, you've shared the stage with huge names: Rod Stewart, Joe Walsh, John Waite, and Kiss, just to name a few.
Yeah, girl.
You always have your own identity on stage from the footage I've seen and from the performances I've seen. How do you incorporate that with, okay, here's like Rod Stewart, here's a band like Kiss. How do you work with them while still keeping your own identity and your own musicianship?
I wish I had a really long, detailed answer. I'm just me.
I mean, have you
Like-
heard her voice?
I've always been loud, and that comes from my dad pushing me, sing stronger. It also comes from a dance background and like being told to project to that last, row in the audience,
Yeah.
no matter how big the auditorium is. And I really, really like communicating. I like there's nothing better than looking in someone's eyes. So, and feeling like you're connecting and making someone's moment better, because they're certainly making my moments better in that moment and those times.
But isn't there also that some bigger names don't want they don't want like another strong person on stage because they want to take that?
I have no complaints. Like John Waite is one of the best. He's always like, ladies and gentlemen, Debbie Holliday, she's going to wail for you now. Go, love her, go. Like just lots of encouragement. And same thing. I mean, I was actually with Lita Ford when I opened up for Kiss. And it's just all about being loud and rocking and 50,000 insane people. So it was, it's more again about just letting the music take you.
Well, So there's no sense of competition, I guess, because there's a level of professionalism. And Paul, I know that in the nightlife, there can be a lot of fighting, there can be a lot of undercutting, there could be a lot of trying to steal away DJs or dancers, or even...
The tea is about to be served.
I knew there was something
so ready for
I had
this.
to say was
I'm
off
so
limit.
ready to hear it.
or even like stealing ideas or taking an idea or just bad-mouthing certain people for no reason. This is not, your industry is definitely not an industry, I feel, and this is from the outside, you can tell me if I'm wrong, that nurtures other people. And I've seen on your Facebook, you go to other people's events, you encourage people. When we promote and help other people, we're helping the community at large. You've
True.
said that on your social media. But
I'm glad you saw that because people don't. Yeah, people assume otherwise.
I want to hear this tea. I'm ready.
But let's bring some of the reality to it and what just definitely needs to stop, and how do you deal with those obstacles?
Well, I think the biggest thing that promoters in general need to do is be proactive and not reactive. I think when they work in favor of their customers or their guests, as we like to call them, and the experience their guests are having, they'll find success. And when they cater to their crowd and when they give their crowd what they want, perfect example is to talk about a competitor's event or a friendly competitor event, but Evita at Nightingale. I had a party at Nightingale, and you know what? It wasn't one of my biggest successes. When it was Greystone Manor, the prior venue in that same space, Fresh Fridays was one of the biggest parties I've ever had in my career. Yeah. Probably only second to GPS. They changed the venue around. It became more of a stage, multi-level venue, and I tried to do it. I tried to throw a dance party there, and it just didn't work. And I knew it didn't work. And I said, well, why? In your head, you convince yourself it should work because it worked before, and it didn't work. And so I left. And then these new guys went in, and they're doing Evita there now. And I basically said to the promoters, I said, guys, you made this work where I couldn't. You engaged a different audience and a different crowd that I'm less connected to, and you got them out, and they lived their only lives. Congratulations. They were being proactive. You don't ever throw a party out of spite or fear. You don't throw a party to ruin another promoter's party.
Money, I'm assuming.
Right.
Too.
You don't throw a party to
I don't even think they were near them.
You guys, I wish you could have seen what I just saw.
We saw
Oh
something.
my God.
I saw Paris, I saw France.
Right? But no, you don't throw a party to mess with somebody else's party, and you don't throw a party because you're afraid if you don't do a party, somebody else is going to do it and be great. If you're not feeling a party in a venue or a certain club or a certain night, then leave the opportunity for somebody else. And I think the certain promoters that are just so focused on, I hate to say it, getting people not to go to something like GPS, right. I think that's where they're missing out.
But I think audiences can tell the desperate energy of...
I think that's a life lesson, though, and I think Paul and Debbie have the same thing going on. They had the same conversation exactly going on. She says she goes out there to sing. She doesn't care about how many followers she has. She doesn't care whatever. He says, I go out there to make a party that I want to make a party. I'm not worrying about other competitors. I'm not worried about other people, what other people want. And the same thing with the Instagram. You go out there to please yourself, not to please other people. And I think the idea of this whole conversation is the only way you're going to be successful is if you're going out and achieving things you want to achieve and goals you want to go for, and not worrying about what other people are trying to tell you is the right way or what's right for you.
If we spend our time, like I say this in my staff meetings, if we spend all our time worrying about our competitors, I'll tell you who we're not worrying about, and that's our guests.
Yeah.
And that's also the artists that make our parties great. Or ourselves. Yeah. Absolutely. We work hard enough that we should worry about the people who support us, not the people who don't. And we should worry about the people that make our parties great. And everybody contributes to, it's like a Formula One race car. I could drive that car, or the DJ could drive that car, but everybody from the bathroom attendant to the security guard, those are the nuts and bolts of that race car. You can't drive a Formula One race car that's even missing 2 bolts. So it's all those pieces that make something great. And if you're worrying so much about something that has nothing to do with you, I guarantee you're not paying attention to all those pieces. And even, for example, we have staff bathrooms at GPS. I don't use the bathrooms that everybody else does, but I still touch base with everybody. And I said to the bathroom attendants, how are things going down here? Because everybody's complaining, the lines are too long, the lines are too long.
Thank God.
So you know what I did? No, we went
God.
and built, I said, you know what? We got to add 8 more urinals. That's what happens when you worry about stuff like that. And I think
people have the best experience.
Yeah, so many people don't pay attention to everything that's around them. They're so busy looking across the hall that they don't see what's right in front of them.
Everyone's blindsided.
And besides, there's room for everybody.
Yeah, there really is.
There is.
Well, Debbie, I think we're talking about musicians that have been in the industry for a while that are not doing the best or what we perceive as the best. They're trying to fit too many different modern markets. That's not their sound. As a musician, you do have to please the audiences. You also don't want to lose all your audiences to a different generation. You also want to keep your finger on the pulse of the beats that are being appreciated and what's happening musically, lyrically. But at the same time, you can't lose that integrity of who you are as the artist. And I think we know who I'm talking about. Our favorite
There's
Madge.
a lot of people. There's a lot of people who do that.
Okay, let's just say Madonna's getting a lot of hate lately because she's putting out stuff that we're like, oh, that's not good enough for Madonna. Well, what is good enough for Madonna?
Well, I wanna
or is she
know-
listening too much to the modern feel that she is so
Do you
not a part of?
change your sound based upon the generation? Because I know that could be a negative thing, but I mean, like, I've seen it in positive situations. I mean, like, we can give examples like Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift. These artists have, gone through, okay, I was a country singer, or Miley Cyrus, I was a country singer. I turned to pop, I turned to rap. And you see this, and you see some of these celebrities, and they do change. Yeah, it can be negative, like
And
saying
it could be
something
their
like that.
record label or their manager saying, hey, do this.
It could
do
be
this.
negative, but I can also see the positive in it. Yes, because generations change, tastes change. It doesn't mean you have to change, but your sound can change and update.
I think it's perfectly, in fact, it's awesome to be
Versatile.
versatile and malleable.
I was waiting to use that word so much.
Versatile.
You get to use it
Versatile.
so infrequently.
Word for the day, versatile.
I use it a lot.
But and again, it's based on I don't know if Madonna's listening to other people or if it's just what's naturally coming out of her. Because I know some days I literally want to hear some damn country. And there are some days I want to hear some, Tchaikovsky. And there are other days that I want to hear some hardcore metal.
Right, it's a spice of life.
I just call it shower theory. Whatever you feel like in the day,
Yeah, so-
you want to sing your heart out and do it.
Yeah, and so sometimes, as an artist, you want to go through, and other people don't change a lot, and they have the same career pretty much their whole lives, and that's fine too. That's kind of it. I think that it's the massive amount of judgment from the top of the political food chain, if you want to call that a food chain, to the
It's called food pyramid.
yeah, food crap right at the top there.
Call it something that sounds
And I think the
brought to you by.
And I think the reason why these debates rage on and on about this is I could sit here and argue both sides. You could say, if you're a
But I think
true
there are both
artist,
sides.
if you're a true artist, you let your fans dictate their taste to you. You don't dictate your taste to your fans. And on the flip side, you could say, well, you're not a true artist if you don't stick true to your style. So what's right? I don't know if anything's
Well,
right.
like, you listen to your audience because they say, I want 8 urinals, you make 8 urinals.
I think a true artist should listen to their fans and take everything in and give back what feels right to them.
So create
So if their
what's
fans
natural.
say
That's
do
good.
this,
Yeah.
do this.
Compromise.
By the way, same thing with me.
Compromise.
Sometimes there's
compromise in art, though.
sometimes there's a
compromise, yeah.
demand for a product I know somebody else can deliver better than me. So I leave that to that person, But yet, if I hear them saying I want this, and in my head I'm going, yeah, I can do that. I do it.
Okay, so let's talk about Pride. We're in Pride season, and Debbie, you're performing at a number of Prides, which you do every year. It's not like some artists have their Pride wave and they've hit the different Prides. I'm not going to name names because they do their best. But then
I wanted to hear the name.
That's
I want
so
a
sweet.
T-girl.
Bless
Have
their
another
heart.
drink.
They
Have
do their
another
best.
drink.
they do their best.
Bring on
They
the
do
cheese
their
man.
best.
I want to hear the T-girl.
But it's funny because I MC and host a lot of these events, so I see them backstage. I see how they arrive with their entourage. I also see the job that they do on stage, and I see year after year. It's like, oh, okay, that's the show they did this year. Sometimes it's like they're trying so hard to sound a certain way that wasn't how they're seen. But again, the crowd also doesn't want to hear the same concert year after year after year.
Right.
And you maintain being asked back to Prides literally across the nation over and over again. So how do you keep it fresh, and how do you keep, because we get younger generations are coming to Pride now because younger generations are not afraid to come out and congregate, which is amazing. But there's also a different energy. Like, I couldn't tell a Golden Girl joke anymore because nobody would even get it. I'm serious.
You
know
do
what I
make
mean?
a lot of Golden Girl jokes.
Because
Nick's like, what are the Golden Girls?
I see it on
Golden-
T-shirts all over the place. That's how I only know.
Murray Swanby's a Golden
I was
Girl.
watching Nick at Night and I saw it.
I know exactly which one, girl.
It's the same answer. It's that I really believe in what I do. And I really don't I love the applause. Yay, it's awesome. If without it, no career.
Yeah.
But
I love how honest
like-
that was.
not so much. But I do it because I really love, whether it's, I'm at the whiskey all the time,
Yeah.
every Tuesday night.
I'm also at the whiskey on Tuesday.
Girl, she's performing. She's not drinking it.
After I perform, I drink it.
He's drinking those
You know, because I'm doing rock and roll on Tuesday nights, and I do a lot of prides, and it's about the connecting, and it's about. I always really honor and respect the fact that someone, whether it's $1 or 10 million, someone spent their time getting me there, and my job, my hat, is to perform and to make people feel better. So whether I'm singing heavy metal or I'm singing, you know, I sang at, unfortunately, one of my best friend's mother's service a couple Sundays ago, and I learned this beautiful jazz song called I Belong to You by Joe Stafford. And it was such a beautiful song. It was hard getting through it, but it's about connecting. So I don't really care what the trend is. My job is to connect.
Can we go back to heavy
And you
metal?
care.
Can we go back?
You don't care about the trend, but you care about every job. And I think you can't.
every job.
You can't teach people to care. It's one thing you cannot teach somebody to care. They either do or they don't.
So, but also Pride is also, is response to the audience response. It's also, bookers are changing for who's putting together even entertainment for Pride. And I've experienced this as well. They're like, you know what? Prides are trying to appeal to a hip social media, so let's get a young YouTube star to MC. They don't know the first thing about classic MC, and you have to roll with the punches. You have to engage to every single person, and you have to run things backstage as you much do front of stage. Or a younger booker will book, let's do every young YouTube musician, and it's the shittiest shows I've ever seen.
Are you calling me out? Like right now? Is this like a moment?
Did you see my last show?
He said Booker with a B, a young Booker.
We're going to clip that. It's going on as a clip.
Okay, can I get a gif of that? My friends will
kidding.
love
I
it.
love
My
Nick.
following will love it.
But there's that experience of being in front of an audience for a live audience and dealing with a massive crowd that you never know how a Pride audience, depending on their level of how much they've had to drink, who they're with, or whatever, that you don't know how they're actually going to be. And so if they're great on YouTube, great for them, but it doesn't always translate to...
You know what sucks is that, I'll be honest too, as an influencer and having no talent whatsoever, it sucks when we have people who have talent, like Debbie Holliday, and you know, people, I see a lot of artists that have a lot of talent, and we get booked sometimes over them. I'm not saying her directly, but we get booked over a lot of talent just to show up and be alive, which is weird. And you know what it is?
Yeah.
I have no personality. I'm just saying, though. It sucks to see like that we're coming to a point where you don't have to have talent anymore. You just have to be a pretty face that stands there and drinks, which is kind of sad. I mean, like, I know I have more.
Is there a website where I can sign up for this?
Yeah, it's also called Sugar Babies. This was brought
I think
to you.
influencers have a responsibility, though. I think certainly the ability to inspire change is a talent, right? So, and I think influencers have that ability. So, if influencers choose to educate themselves on something that matters, they in turn can become talent, because I think when you inspire change, that is a talent.
I agree.
But
you have to
every
do
influencer
that.
has that
You
opportunity.
have to
I would
have
say
that.
with great talent comes great responsibility. And I think with great influence comes great
But
responsibility.
that's the thing, is that a lot of influencers nowadays, like, they go out and they go, okay, here's my ab picture. I'll show up, drink, ignore everybody, stick with my friends, and I hate that because.
And as a booker, they don't want that. They want people.
They want.
I don't. Let me tell you something.
You have a choice.
Book those influencers.
When you have an influence, use your influence.
Never, ever.
Which means you do have talent.
Well, and your guest host
a host makes you a drink.
I know, now I'm a radio personality.
No, a host makes you a drink. A host takes your jacket. You know, like if I invite you to a barbecue at my house, and you come and you're knocking on the door and you're like, Paul, and I don't answer, and the door kind of creeps open, you walk into my backyard and I'm sitting in the corner with my friends with a bottle, and I just like, oh, hey.
Yeah,
you'd be like, this guy's a douchebag.
Yeah.
He invited me to a barbecue at his house. He barely said hello. He
That
sat in the
happened
corner
last
with his
weekend,
friends.
by the way.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't even
I was
invited
really
to that.
I was really busy.
I wasn't invited to that one.
No, but these people who book these hosts or influencers and stick them in a corner where nobody can get to them, and they literally just drink and don't engage with anybody.
And it's not
Who
good
wants
for
to
social
pay to
media
watch somebody
because
drink?
Or they put you on
everybody
a pedestal.
Yeah.
That to me is
And
just
then
crazy.
nobody gets next to you because you're
That's
just sitting
crazy
there.
to me.
Yeah.
So Paul, and you book talent as well as influencers, as well as your dancers. How has the industry changed of who you're booking, and what is it that you're looking for when you're putting together a huge night like GPS where people have an expectation?
To be honest, it has not changed much for me. They all
Really?
have a job. So if I try to book influencers to do certain jobs, because of course it makes sense, but nobody ever comes into one of my nights without a job. So if I book an influencer, they're either going to be hosting the VIP, and by hosting the VIP, I mean you go around, say hi to people, and offer them
I love that.
a Mars bar. You know, even for you can ask Nick.
Even
for the
your
if I put somebody on the
promoters.
guest list, when Nick's like, "Can you put me on your list?" I'm like, "Sure," and here's what you can post. You know, to me, and that's nothing wrong with that. I think that's the way it should be, because I think people that just expect things to become entitled, and entitled is not cute.
Yeah.
You know, if I hire a singer, hell yeah, they're there to. I go. If I hire a singer, you better sing. You know, if I hire a DJ, you better play fun music.
And I've seen this backstage at Pride's too. It's like, you're here to put on a show. You got hired, like you said. They put in whatever effort they did, and it's so rude to be like.
And
I guess we're here.
I have a pet peeve, more than a pet peeve. It angers me that sometimes people forget, and I'm straight. People forget what Pride is about.
Yes.
Well,
It's pride
They
in
don't
yourself.
know.
It's pride in yourself.
People don't know. Some people don't know what Stonewall is.
Hey,
I'll be like,
welcome.
you know, it's the anniversary of Stonewall, right? They're like,
it's a huge
Stonewall. What's
anniversary,
that?
by the way.
What?
And Madonna has focused on that too. Which
Yes.
Hold on.
She has.
I have my one little excuse for them. Not that I ever excuse ignorance, but I can't, because it was so frustrating for me. I kind
It's actually
of
pronounced ignorance.
I analyzed it. I analyzed it a little bit, and the truth is that when you grow up gay, your history of gay people starts the day you come out. So if you grow up any other minority, African American or Vietnamese or whatever, your family's teaching you about the history of who you are.
Right.
Your family doesn't know who you are until you come out. So your history starts that day.
That's
So the
really
day
good
you come out, if gay people can get married, and that's when your history starts. You don't really realize what came before you. And I'm lucky because I'm all of it. I'm 40 on the dot, and I came out when I was 15.
This
So
is
I
literally the
kind of
next
saw a
question
lot
I
of
have for you. We got from the audience.
old am I?
Because not how old you are. No.
Well, go on.
Because Paul, we see, Paul Nicholls presents. We know it's
Yeah.
gonna be a great party. We see very little like facts about who you are,
By
and so
choice.
the questions. But I literally got that from one of your attendees or somebody that
Mm-hmm.
worked with you. Is you're always in the organizer role. What kind of kid were you in high school, and what was your own personal coming out story? That was literally the question I had.
Yeah, and by the way, that's by choice. And the reason why I say it's by choice is because I always want my events and stuff to be about the people that go to them. I don't want to make it about me, so I try to keep.
Well, that's also different.
Yeah, I try to keep it. And all my marketing is the same. GPS is your party, your world, your GPS. So your party, your world, your gay party Saturday. This party belongs to you. Stripper Circus is run away to the circus. Everybody who goes to the circus, to the history of the circus is all the misfits belonging. So every single party I've always ever done, that's been the theme that's run through it. It's not about being cool. It's not about me. It's not my party. It's yours. Because there is no party if nobody goes to it.
That's so accurate.
But the funny thing is,
But isn't that kind of lonely?
no.
Paul is never lonely.
You look
Paul is
out-
surrounded by
Let me
everyone.
tell you something. You look at it
There's
1,000
there's
smiling
difference
faces. It's the
about
best feeling in
being
the
surrounded by a
world.
lot of people, and there's a difference of like having people around you that know who you
I feel like
are.
that separates it, because then you have the people who are the fans of you. You separate that audience, and you have your true friends
I
always
think
around
it's
you.
lonely to
But
be
I think-
self-absorbed.
Very true.
I think the people around me judge me based on their experiences with me. Their personal ones, their one-on-one experiences, not based on what I've put
Because
out
your
there.
name's not bigger than the event.
Right, not you should, Paul Nichols is this, so this is why you should.
Or like asking for your bio for 5
yeah,
times.
like
yeah.
I want people. No, I want.
Oh, girl. Oh, she's gonna.
No,
She was.
no, and by the way,
tease
I
it.
always said I don't have a bio. I didn't really have one. I kind of had to throw something together because I've never been.
I'm teasing.
Yeah, but no, I've never been much about that. And the great thing, I'll tell you, I have the best coming out story ever because I don't really have one, to be perfectly honest. It's like this actually gets me emotional, but I never came out. I never came out to my parents. They never asked. They just one day started saying, instead of saying if you have a special girl to bring home, they said you have a special girl or a special guy to bring home. And one of the most amazing things I can say
love
is
that.
there's no
Great parents.
awful what I had to go through. I had to go through nothing.
That's amazing.
So I think if I can be there for people who do.
I think that's what you've done. You're paying it forward.
And a lot of the stuff I'm attracted to.
That's beautiful.
No,
That's
it's-
really beautiful.
A lot of
It's
the stuff
actually
I'm
really
attracted to as far as fundraisers, like the Gay and Lesbian Center, when I went and did a tour of the floors of these kids that are there for no other reason than their parents kicked them out for being gay.
Yeah.
And you look at them and you look at like the pictures on the wall and stuff, they're kids. Like they're just kids. They're kids like any other kid. So it's crazy, but yeah, I have no coming out story, which is I'm so thankful for. Thanks, Mom and Dad. My
That's
mom will
so
probably listen to this,
beautiful.
but yeah, there isn't one.
Walking through the LGBT homeless center is one of the most empowering experiences, and I have a great story about that. One of the kids that went through it, I was officiant at his wedding, and he now works at the LGBT
amazing.
center as one of the officers. He literally changed his whole life around.
A family, like a family is your support group. That's your everything. So again, I guess gay people can be a little ignorant, but think about it. Not only are they not taught the history of their people, but sometimes when they try to be who they are, they're actually kicked out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's not going to be any black kid that goes to their mom and says, "Mom, I'm black." And mom's like, "Get out of the house." I didn't know you were black. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not going to happen. You know?
She's like, I've had it similar.
Unless you're mixed.
Well,
And neither side of your family likes you.
On top of that story,
there's a whole different set of drama.
But I actually recently went to Long Beach Pride, and there was a lot of cops around the street. And, you know, me being my overly gay self, you know, these cops were really staring me and my friends down for a moment. And I was just like, "Hey guys," you know, it was chill though. I was like, "Hey guys," I was being all extra and super gay. And then two of the people in my group were very moved to the corner and standoffish, and they were like, "Can you not do that, please?" And I was like, "Why can you? Why? What's wrong with that?" And I was like, "I'm just being me, being gay, whatever." And they're like, because some of us grew up in a time where we were mistreated or just already stereotyped because we were gay, and they were scared. They actually were scared because of the way they were treated in the past, so the way that people looked at them differently, and cops looked at them differently.
When some cops were told, if people are acting that way, keep them in line.
Look at San Francisco. Look at
it was so upsetting because I didn't even think it. I didn't double think it.
Terrorist groups, but there was gay, violent activists.
And
know?
it got
and I tell gay
so
people
silent.
that. I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah, they were.
Yeah.
I was so like
stoning police cars, and
I didn't grow up in a time. I didn't grow up in a moment where, you know, I came out a late time, so I didn't grow up in a moment where you were actually feared a lot of the higher authorities and a lot of the higher authority figures.
Yeah.
And they were, and that was the saddest thing to me, to see somebody around my age just were so scared because they came out at an early age and they were mistreated or looked down upon by higher people up. And it was so sad to see.
West Hollywood has pride flags on its police cars now. I mean, that's a beautiful
That's
thing.
beautiful.
I mean,
That's
we
beautiful.
have like pride flags painted in crosswalks
On the
now around the
crosswalks
nation,
and-
but there are still pockets. I went to Santa Fe out at the fair last year, and we were on the Pride float in the county fair parade. I think of Pride float like whatever. Everybody's gonna be like, "Yay, Pride!" Well, it was for the whole county, so they had the high school mart, they had politicians. The Pride had one little float on the whole thing. We got booed at. We had little kids seeing what their parents were doing and flipping us off for no other reason, but because they were being told to do that. It was so earth-shattering to me. I've never been around that because I've only been in major cities where we live in this
You
bubble.
get spoiled in these cities.
I went
Yeah,
to Tel
you
Aviv
can.
Pride last year.
That
the
is a
whole
huge
street, the whole street, all the businesses shut down during the Pride parade. All of them,
Yeah.
because
The fact
it was
that there was a
against
Pride is huge.
It was against anybody to be working or being around that, and it was really sad to see
The first
that
few Prides
Tel
were shut
Aviv,
down
number
to
one, is
bombing.
one of the bigger gay areas,
Yes.
like to be accepted.
I love Tel Aviv.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and they have Forever Tel Aviv. It's a huge event. There's huge parties, but the fact that the Pride parade went on in every business, even the gyms, even the convenience stores, were shut down because it was against what they believed in to be around that.
I mean, a minority is a minority. I guess all minorities have issues, like
And
you
the
said.
reality,
Even if
that's
you're
right.
black, if you're mixed race, you might, but you kind of at least adjust. You know, you know it's there. The issue's there. It's a little
still
more
so
out
sad
in the
to
open.
see, though.
But the crazy thing with coming out, I can't wait for the day. It's like nobody, like everything else. Like if your kid likes, you know, to eat chicken and doesn't like beef, it's just something you discover. You know what I mean?
A hamburger.
But
They'd be kicked out of my house. I'm sorry, National Hamburger Day. Get your chicken
part
ass
of the
out
whole
here.
need to come out is because we hide it. That's the truth, you know. And I think I love that they and we've encouraged coming out as a community, because coming out would be putting us out there, and the more gay people come out, of course, I believe 100%, the harder it is to hate gay people, because you realize
And
they're
we
all
are
around
having
you.
more celebrities. We're
But-
having newscasters now that are coming out. We're having sports.
I hope there's a
people
day where nobody
come
has
out.
to. I
That's-
hope there's a day
yeah.
that they
Politicians.
just grow up organically
love
who
it.
they are.
Paul,
because
we
they
have a
don't feel the need
question
to.
for you from the chat room, but real fast, before we answer Paul's question, let's take a look at GPS. Let's take a look at what happens.
Oh God! Which video
What
is
happened?
that?
Now, this,
Oh, thank God!
Dance till the night dies.
So I have to tell you the funny thing about showing a video like this for me, like I get nervous. I'm like, okay, they showed that, and it's like, hello.
We're pretty PG.
I was afraid I was going to be in it.
Still, there's been, like, gay dance parties or circuit parties where there's just drugs and it promotes sexuality and it's not inclusive. Well, I think with your message today that you've kind of refuted that it's a place to have fun. Now, what if somebody didn't want to take off their shirt and wear a Speedo?
Oh, well, a lot of people don't take off their shirts and wear a Speedo. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be there.
Yeah, no, I mean, the great thing about it is it is Gay Party Saturday. It's meant, I mean, gay, I guess in a way is limiting now, but it is for the whole community and whoever considers themselves a part of that community. And if you don't want to be in the middle of a hot dance floor, you can go right up the stairs and be a VIP and have a martini and some Sour Patch Kids.
It's not any
Thank
different than going to the
God.
whiskey and there's like female
Yeah.
go-go dancers on either side.
I love that.
No, but
I feel so comfortable
It's
with
the,
the
it's the same thing.
You should go to a GPS event.
And there's a funny-
Honestly, it's so
Look,
diverse.
And there's
It's
a
so
funny
diverse.
thing about diversity. I'll tell you something about diversity is it needs to be done well. And I think it's like there's nothing worse than the white guy telling you about, oh my God, I have so many black friends.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And for us, the thing that was important with diversity, I was like, find the best dancers, find the best this, find them by in any way. And I told my staff, I don't care I don't care if they're Asian or they're black. And you know what? The world is a diverse place and talent is diverse. And we found a very diverse group of people. But it's funny because it's diversity you don't even notice it in a way that nobody says, oh, there's the token such and such, or this guy's there obviously for that reason. And that's diversity done
very
well.
inclusive.
And diversity should be beautiful. How about we have a dancer that is missing a leg, and people see him living his life, and then I go, look closer, and they're like, I go, look. They're like, look, and they're like, oh my God, he has a blinged out prosthetic leg, but he's such a great dancer. Nobody notices. Like that's true diversity. And then people, when they see our ads, which are representative of all shapes, sizes, and colors, they then come like there's where the gay guys they have this volleyball groups that play volleyball on Santa Monica or whatever. You can tell I don't go very often, but I had one of the guys who worked for me and said I was talking to this group of African American guys and we were talking about GPS and they said, oh, that's not for us, that's not our crowd, and he said, what should we do? I said, you know what, invite them as my guests, and I can't wait to show them that's not the case. And I'm not going to tell somebody. It sounds almost arrogant when you say, no, that's not the case. I have, let me pull up my stats. I had, 120 African Americans at my last party. That's not how it works. Making people feel welcome is something that's just ingrained into how you run your business as a human being. You can't tell somebody they're welcome. You got to make them feel welcome. Yeah. And you can't, it's like you can't teach somebody how to care. Can't teach somebody how to be inclusive. Inclusive has to be who you are as a person, and you have to hire people who deliver that same energy.
I think,
and that's what
I think your GPS actually shows not the fact that it represents diversity, because I've been a couple times. I go a lot actually. Anyway,
no, you don't say.
I've never missed
Couple
Check
100
my stats,
times.
sorry. Girl, I see you right next to me. I think that as much as he's saying that it's race and prosthetic legs, I think Paul's party is one of the most diverse in the gay scene. Like, how gays tend to separate everybody
They love to do
into
that. By nature, they
separate
do.
We
by
have
nature.
bear parties. We have the twink
Yeah,
parties. We have
yeah,
the
I know,
socialite
yeah.
parties. We have the dress in a
I
tuxedo, you won't be allowed parties.
This is one of the most diverse groups of parties. It's not don't go there, it's bears. Don't go there, it's it's twinks. It's go there, you're gonna have a great time, you're gonna meet
Together.
new people, and you know what? It's not that's a bear party. Oh no, that's this
Which
party.
is the way it's supposed to
It's
be.
so
in
good.
life.
And just
and
like this-
that moves us into it's not a straight
We're supposed
club.
to be
It's not a
walking down
gay
the club
club.
like, hey girl,
It's a
hey girl, hey
club.
girl, no whatever.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
a
love seeing
club.
the pictures of your parties. I see my circle of friends that
Yeah.
have never met. I
Yes.
see them all in the same
Yeah.
room and habitat. I'm like, oh, they met.
And they like
met.
each other.
Paul, we have this question from the chat room. How does a promoter make sure the entertainer that they book is cared for and enjoying being there the day of the event?
Eddie Eduardo. No,
I love Eddie, my boy.
So we do have that is extremely important because obviously a performer who feels welcome and feels appreciated, and this is not like. I don't hire like the word diva is like I like to work with people who want to be somewhere. If I'm getting the vibe right off the bat that somebody feels they're better than the party or feels like they're doing me a favor, I don't even work.
You are so lucky I'm here right now.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work. So
We are lucky to have you,
can feel
Debbie.
it. And I've had it like on the
welcome
radio
them.
show. You know, it's like, you know, who's been on the radio show? And it's like, you did a YouTube video 10 years ago. I mean, you know what I mean? But you can feel that, and that person, nobody will ever want to work with them again.
The second they walk in the door, we give them a little welcome package, which is like a GPS
Goldfish?
hat, a fan.
Goldfish?
Yeah, and we ask them. No, it's as simple as that. It's like, what would you like to drink? What can we have for you? You treat them like a guest in your home. What you would do, and a special guest in your home, of course, because they're bringing something. And I mean that we do treat them well, and we do appreciate them, and they're there for a reason, and we want them to feel great, and everybody should feel appreciated. Everybody that walks in the doors of GPS.
As much as you respect them, they have to respect you the exact same way.
Yes, and respect my guest. And I think if you don't want anybody to go anywhere with a chip on your shoulder, like managing actors, I always tell my clients, you'll have a movie where you'll make $500,000, and you'll have a movie where you'll make $50,000. You should show up on set.
Acting like you're making the same. You should always
act like you're making $1 million.
I wish we would tell that to some of these drag queens.
You don't know
about here now.
that $50,000 movie is the movie that's going to win you a Golden Globe.
You never know who you're going to meet.
No.
You never know.
Has seen it too.
You never know who you're going to meet on a certain project, or you never know. Like, even when you go to a party, I hate when people are like, oh, who are you? What do you do? I'm like, don't ask me that.
I've had somebody walk up to me
like
and ask
me-
me how many followers I have before even saying hello.
I don't believe that.
That's true. They go, oh, hey, what's your Instagram following?
I would say
someone-
I come from the last generation of people who know what it's like to meet people blind.
Yeah.
Meaning when I would meet somebody for the first time, I would say, hey, how are you? And that's the first time you'd see that person's face more often than not.
And it's manners. You look them in the eye,
Right.
just as you said, you make this connection.
Now when people
Yeah.
meet people, they've seen them on Instagram. They already think they have, a full idea of who they are.
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you something. Instagram is like meeting somebody through a little tiny square, and they show you what they want to show you in that square.
You put out what you want people
Very
to see.
specific.
It's not a bad
rose-colored
thing. It's
glasses.
just don't forget when you're meeting somebody for the first time, you still in fact are meeting somebody for the first time.
You're meeting that photo with your eyelash slightly
So don't
off.
don't hate Nick because of what you saw him do on reality TV or Instagram. Hate
Wait
him
a
for what he
minute.
did to you.
But
And if he
I'll be
doesn't do
honest.
anything to you, then don't hate him.
When he
But
walked
hate
in,
him.
when
I
he
hate
walked,
him.
when he walked in the radio show for the first time, I didn't know what to expect because we see him on Andrew Christian and blah blah blah. He was mannerful. He brought it tonight. It's a whole different person, not what you see. But what happens when you deal with a celebrity that is rude, that is being rude to your staff? How do you turn that around? That is a gift in itself.
It's so funny.
You get through the night and then you never hire him again.
No, 'cause it's so weird because I hear this and people are like, oh, so and so and so and so, and I swear honestly, I swear I don't have these problems, and I think it's put out there with people. Sometimes they're like, look, Paul's a very real guy. Like, if you start acting like that with him, it's not going to fly. I don't know if it's they know that I just don't tolerate that off the get-go. And even like on Drag Race and stuff, there's all these stories of these drag queens becoming divas. And I never had those issues with even some of the ones because I think I looked them in the eye and I do meet them for the first time. And maybe there's something in the back of my head that says, don't mess with me or be nice. I don't know.
And treating them
Yeah,
with kindness.
Exactly.
In spite of it?
I feel like people set themselves up for that. I really do. Like, and Nick
Yeah.
knows I don't go easy on
I'll
people.
put my feathers and be like, you want to be that way? Then I'll be like
I'll
that
call
too.
people out.
I'll
If I
call you
see-
out for your shit right
I'll call
here.
people out.
Yeah.
I've called Nick out. I'll call everybody out.
He calls everyone out.
And I'm the truth. And look, I'm never gonna have an issue with anybody based on anything besides something I've experienced. So I don't get involved in people's drama. I think friend circles can be very, very dangerous because a circle is something that goes round and round and round and round and round. I love friend circles, but I like friend lines. They keep on going somewhere.
Oh,
a
that's
circle.
cute.
I can insert myself in a circle, but I like walking right out of it.
Write them
Write
down.
down stuff.
I'm writing
Yeah.
down. Sure.
And
I
it should
like
be an
lines
open
too.
circle.
Yeah, but I don't an open
Because the
circle.
line
But
they said is always going somewhere.
I haven't had that diva story, and even people that have been
God
known.
bless.
When I first started at the agency, when I first came here as an agent, they assigned me to all the difficult clients that nobody else would deal with.
Wow.
And there was a very, I don't know if I should say who she was, but a very famous TV actress at the time.
What year?
Debbie Holliday.
Oh God, 20 years ago was the number one show on TV.
Dynasty?
I asked for the
No,
goldfish.
it was about I'm gonna give
Tell
it
me
away.
what the show was about.
It was about the cowboy doctor who was a medicine lady.
Oh, Dr.
Yep.
Quinn Medicine.
Oh, no, give it.
Oh, Jane Seymour
Wait.
with her
Is
scrotum.
the cowboy doctor
So
who
one
was
of
a
one of
lady.
my favorite.
Sounds like my next boyfriend.
And by the way, for the record, one of my very, very favorite people in the world, and she just wasn't getting along with the agents because every agent that she interacted with would just tell her, because she was big money in the TV world. Like nobody was making money. Jane Seymour was making bank on TV shows. So every time she dealt with an agent, they just try and sell her on another TV show or MOW, movie of the week, because that was big money. And nobody ever asked her what she wanted to do. And I was a kid at the time. I was 22 years old, and I went into Jane Seymour's dressing room and I said, "What do you want to do?" And she said, "You know what? I really like to paint, and I'm really into creating jewelry and stuff." And I introduced her at the time she was filming in Canada. I introduced her to this guy, Galen Weston, who ran Holt Renfrew, which is like the Saks of Canada. And she started a whole line there. And then she started her and then that led to her whole open heart bracelet with K Jewelers and all that stuff. That was always Jane Seymour's painting. And she painted a self-portrait of her holding her newborn baby, naked, just holding her baby like this. And I'll never forget, she gave one for me to give my mom and signed it and said, you know, to Kathy, love Jane, your son is a special man. My mother still has it up by the piano. But I think that's the thing with artists. I don't think Jane Seymour is difficult. I think she's the nicest person in the world. But if nobody asks you what you want, and it's just constantly telling you what you should want, anybody's going to be like, it's like if I keep on telling you, like, like jelly beans, I'm like, eat this jelly bean, eat this jelly bean, eat this jelly bean. Eventually you'll be like, I don't want a damn jelly bean. Does that make you difficult? I don't think so.
Paul's a lot deeper than I thought he was going to be, honestly.
Who knew?
I'm going to be honest, too. We're talking about stories from our past. Debbie, you have charted on the Billboard charts many times, but I love...
15.
And 15 times. Who can say that, though? I mean, when we think about it, it's like, oh, wow. But I love the story, and I was able to ask it to you for GED Magazine. The first time you found out in your whole musical history that you were on the Billboard charts, tell us the story, and I want you to share the story.
I was on a plane with Andrew Briskin, and again, I had just been dropped from Warner Brothers. I was, I had a rock and roll deal, and they just could not actually, at the end of the day, get the record out because they were afraid the audiences weren't ready for it. So I had just been dropped. I had a really nice balloon package, so no, I wasn't sorry for that. And I took that money and I started my own label to my first single with Dive. And Dive was an angry song about people telling you that you can't do something, that you're limited, and that you don't fit, and that you're wrong when you're not. And I was on the plane, got off the plane, and the first text message I got was from Del Shores, who said, "Baby girl, you're on Billboard." And it still makes me cry because Del's my family.
Yeah, Del's,
and it just...
I love how every single song you make is an inspirational song. It's to inspire others and to feel better about themselves. Every one of them. Every single song. It doesn't change. Yeah, the sound may change, but the message does not change.
Thank you.
It's beautiful.
And I went to a club that's no longer there that I cannot remember the name of in San Francisco. Chris Cox was spinning. My sister was going to Berkeley because that's what she do. Hi, hippie kids. And she was at Berkeley, so she came, and it was Andrew, and it was the first time that I saw an audience full of people in 2004 with their hands in the air screaming, "We are still alive." And it was like, yeah, I'm going to keep doing this.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a good experience.
Love Chris Cox, too. Talk about an ally.
And God, right? And just such a talent. He did a mix for my last single, Waiting for a Lifetime. And he was in the middle of doing 5 different things, including taking care of his daughter, and somehow he got that mix out to me.
He's a good person.
He's such a great
talented person. A huge
talented person.
Debbie, who was the first person you actually called on the phone after you found out about the Billboard placement?
Well, I didn't really have to because Del texted me, and then I remember just standing on the tarmac hugging Andrew Briskin. Yeah, who's gone now, so.
I met you through Andrew.
Yes, yeah. I met pretty much everyone through Andrew. Yeah. Rest in peace.
Mm-hmm. I want to play a little bit of "Waiting for a Lifetime" with Miss Debbie Holliday. And Kurt, crank this mother up. As in volume, Kurt.
Dale Dickey.
And these are all allies you can recognize
my
from our
friends.
community.
I love it.
There's Emerson. Hey, Emerson and Scott. Patrick. Did you see Patrick?
Yes, Patrick.
Yeah. So talk about incorporating your message with actual community. These are members from the entertainment community as well as like families. If you're ever feeling a little low in your day, all you literally need to do is put this on, and I swear to God, it will change.
Oh, bless
it
you.
will change your day.
And I gotta say, my boyfriend, who is just also
and
an
so
ally.
cute, by the way.
He's very good for us. He's very cute. Hi, baby. Spent hours editing this because we really wanted to do it ourselves, and we wanted to incorporate all of these people. Like every single person in that video is my actual friend.
I think your albums help represent exactly what you guys have been talking. Both of you guys have been talking about the whole diversity and acceptance of your not only other people and just yourself.
But even the sound
and yourself.
Yeah, and yourself, especially yourself.
Especially yourself, so you
Especially
can
yourself.
spread
You
it.
can't have love for someone else over you. You have to have love for yourself first.
Yes.
But the sound is so accessible. It's not like, oh, another gay song, like clack, clack, clack. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It made me want to hold someone's hand.
Yay!
That's exactly
Your album made me. That song made me want to be like, okay.
Like mine would be like, I haven't been to the gym in 82 years, but I exaggerated. But it'd be like, oh, then I just listen to the song.
was 71.
Everybody can listen to this song and join together because you're exactly right. Like if the Olympics had a joining hand song, this would be it.
That was a candlelight moment, or now in this generation, a phone light moment.
Yeah.
So nice.
Bury that journey.
And I wrote that with another ally, Jeff Fedak, who's, I don't know if I should say
You
this
seem
this
to give
way.
it up for the allies.
He's as
like-
straight as he gets, and so is just all about diversity. So yeah.
So to take a little swerve, Debbie, I also love your live performances because it's a different kind of grittiness and it's a different kind of power that is so intoxicating. So we actually have like a behind the scenes video from your Whiskey A Go Go.
Oh my!
You started out from whiskey. And I was like,
Kurt, make sure the sound is there. We go. Oh my God.
Preach, girl. Preach. One note preaches all. Can I just tell you my favorite part about your video real fast? Is your stage presence. It's not the fact that you're looking at the audience. It's the fact that you're closing your eyes. I love when an artist closes their eyes when they sing.
Some people feel differently about that.
No, it shows that they're emotional and putting in their emotion into the song. It's showing that they are really feeling their song, they're feeling their music, they're feeling their message. I believe that's what they're reflecting. They're not trying to look at all the distractions. They're trying to look into themselves and pull out a great note to pull for you.
Thank you.
No, you can see that in that you have so much passion and
get
emotion
lost.
in your song. And I would too. I mean, what
you're
you're saying
telling
is very
the story.
inspirational. I would get lost too. And you can see you're pulling it from real life experiences.
It's such a gift to be able. I mean, it's like.
Oh my
I don't
God.
think.
And
I don't think there's anybody in this planet that's not. I don't. Maybe. Yes. Yeah. Envious would be the word in a way that everybody wishes they could sing. It's truly one of those talents that everybody. I don't find me one person who's like, I know.
Oh yeah, I can sing. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if I was a great singer, I wouldn't really
that's a
care.
talent.
No, it's such a special talent.
That
mean,
stage, Debbie, though, that we just saw. I mean, talk about like your rock and roll, and you're just like, oh, it's so
And that
reminiscent.
was a nice one. That was a soft one.
But it's so
I want to
like,
hear metal. I
is
want to hear
what-
your metal.
This is what
Yeah.
a musical star should sound like, not like, lip syncing or like whatever. This is what music.
Khaled.
Yeah.
Not so bad.
All right, you guys. I am
Thank
so
you, thank
sorry. Kurt has to go home and do role play with his wife to Harry Potter. That's
Poor
embarrassing.
Kurt. Kurt's like,
You think I'm lying?
it's true, but don't tell everyone.
Yeah, not
We didn't even mention it. Stoli Cocktail Classic.
Stoli.
Stoli.
Stoli Cocktail
Stoli.
Classic.
Stoli Cocktail Classic.
Okay.
June 3rd.
June
Yes.
3rd.
So we're gonna end the show. We have to do. We're gonna do rapid fire with each of you, and then after you do rapid fire, you tell our viewers and listeners where they can find you. Who wants to go first?
Okay.
Debbie Holliday.
Fine.
You could. You have to record a duet with someone who has passed.
That's easy.
Who?
David Bowie.
Oh.
I would have clapped.
Who married the wrong black woman, but I forgive him.
But if you're gonna marry, I mean, come.
I know, Iman.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
And
Perfection.
Labyrinth is getting a sequel. Jennifer
What?
Conley is coming back.
What?
What if they brought back some of his music and
He's
then
here
you
now.
did the duet? Hologram.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bowie.
Your
Hands
life
down.
is getting a biopic, and with some of the stuff we kind of heard about, I think the biopic from childhood to now could happen, like Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody. But who was playing you?
Oh, God. Oh, that's tough.
These rapid fires.
You
are
either
rough.
sound like super
Tough.
conceited, like, Jada Pinkett Smith. Like, I don't look like her.
No, it's
God, who?
girl. You could be as conceited as you want by the one. And number one, I think.
God, oh, that's a good one. I've never thought about that, which is actually good.
She's like, I'm gonna play myself.
Yeah.
No, I get that, but like like.
Man, you know what? I'll come up with, I don't know. Oh, man. That is a tough one.
So hopefully somebody who's not born yet.
Right? Exactly.
Like,
I don't know.
Okay.
What's love got to do? Who played Tina?
Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. There you go.
I'm going to disagree with you because she forgot how to act in the last 10 years.
Oh.
American Horror Story and
Deborah
Black
Cox,
Panther.
Deborah Cox did
Well, I
Whitney
just think
Houston.
she's beautiful. I think Halle
I
Berry
love-
should play you,
I
and
love
they should
Angela.
lip sync to get some words in there, girl. But
Love Angela.
I can see Halle Berry.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, she's beautiful.
Just admit Scarlett Johansson will probably play you.
Like she plays other diverse roles
I love
in
it,
different
but- yeah.
movies when
I'm
she's
just
not
teasing,
that
but,
race.
like,
Let's see.
She's amazing.
She was in the Ghost
Ghost in the
Shell,
Shell, which I
and she was
loved her.
Asian in that, but she was not
No,
Asian.
that character was never. If you are
mom
an
was
anime
Asian.
fan, okay, we're done.
We're not bringing this up. That's a different show.
What music genre would you be most uncomfortable recording an album in?
Hip hop.
Oh, okay.
Cannot rap to save my damn life. I just get so white.
I like how she also put on an accent while saying
Right?
that line.
She actually just did.
It's embarrassing though. I
there
should
she
be able to
goes.
hip hop it.
My hip and hop.
It's funny when we have to see the RuPaul girls have to rap. And
So
You mean,
bad.
hard.
you mean the RuPaul's have to talk and
And I
put
went
music
to a
it?
school in Bel Air. What,
oh my God. Beyonce or Gaga?
oh, sorry, Gaga.
Wow.
I love me some Gaga.
And talking about
Gaga.
changing yourself, do you know Gaga used to sing at Trunks?
But what Beyonce dancing, Gaga's music.
Yes.
Sorry.
Gaga's
Yeah,
put
but Gaga
an
started
artist.
off though as like a rock
Beyonce's
singer
performer.
until somebody
Yeah.
remixed
Nobody
her
can dance
song.
like
And Gaga, like Debbie, was somebody who was there before it was cool and was
Yeah.
there
Way
because she
before.
wanted to be there.
Exactly.
Yep.
100,000,000%.
Yes.
I love her
So
journey.
she deserves
And she
so
comes
beautiful.
all the
and
success.
she
It's such a
comes from like a
beautiful
rock
journey.
background, so
Such
I
a
feel
beautiful
it.
journey.
She comes from a rock background, but
LGBTQ
also a
supporter the whole
musical
time.
theater background.
Yeah.
Love her.
Yeah. So I got a thing with it. I get it.
She was that high alto in musical theater that nobody would cast because
She was-
yes.
And performs live beautifully.
Yes.
A lot of artists can't do that, but she.
Acting? I don't know. Okay, if you could go back in time and be...
You're off the
The
deep
shade.
end. You're off the deep end. Watch as I dive in, girl.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you're right. A Star is Boring was so great.
Oh, whoa. This is why you don't get invited to red carpets anymore, girl.
It's actually true.
Hate on good movies? Okay.
If you could go back in time and be the premier recording artist for any song in history, whether recorded by a man or a woman, what is that one song you're like, God, I wish I would have been the original artist?
Oh man.
These are hard.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, really?
That song is genius.
Yeah, it is.
That song
It is
is
so weird.
It never should have existed.
That's exactly right.
It's insane.
Yeah.
And
It's-
it made pop radio.
It's the other.
It's the other group. It's the
yeah.
other group.
And
it's the one she talked about. It's
through,
the other group.
Through his and all of their genius. So yeah.
And I have to say, I rewatched Live Aid because of Bohemian Rhapsody. It's just unbelievable. Debbie Holliday,
Best
your
voice
website is so good, and you're appearing in so many places. Tell our viewers and listeners where they can find you.
You know what? DebbyHolliday.com, although it's not as active as it should be, I'll be honest.
But your pictures are there, the videos are there.
And it links you to all of my music from the span of from iTunes to Spotify, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Debbie Holliday, Debbie with a Y, DebbyHolliday.com.
Can we find where you're going next on there also?
You know, the best place is my Facebook.
Yes.
Yeah, both my Facebook fan page, which I don't always handle. I have an assistant for that, and then my personal.
Rich.
Just not enough time. Not enough time. Got to spread it out.
Yeah.
And I'm in a lot of places in June. So
You are.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to say, if you're local to SoCal, even though we know my radio show is national, Laguna Beach Pride headlining June 1st.
This Saturday.
Key West next after
and then
Key
Key West.
Out at the fair, which we love out at the fair because they're incorporated with the Now Trending app, which streams
Columbus
our show.
Pride, middle of June 14th, June 15th.
Literally everywhere you're gonna
I'm
be.
gonna be a lot of places. Oh, Gunkwit, Maine. Oh, Gunkwit. I have not been to
I
Maine.
love the name of that.
Right?
I think we should all just go to Gunkwit, Maine because we never heard.
I would make it a thing. Let's make it a giant thing.
It'd be like Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, or it'd be like two Uncle. We just come off the plane, like.
Come on, Gunkwit.
Oh, Gunkwit.
Come on,
Gunkwit.
Oh, Gunkwit.
Who's gunking tonight?
I'll be gunking.
There's a rap there.
End of this month.
Just gunked.
month.
What are you doing?
I'm getting gunked tonight.
I'm already gunked out.
We're getting so ridiculous. This is the gayest show I've ever done in my life.
We're going to. Okay, we're obviously going to gunk.
Who's next? Paul.
All right, my turn.
You're producing a huge dance party for the LGBT senior citizen community, 65 and older. What is the name of your event? I love this question, by the way.
I love that.
Is it another abbreviation?
Yeah.
I want to know.
The dance that you started, because we wouldn't be having these parties if it wasn't for them, because they paved the way.
The
So the
dance
dance,
you
the dance
started.
that you started, they started the dance.
You are so good. God damn it.
It's true.
And
I would
that's
not
why he's
have
one
my
of the
career if it wasn't
largest
for them.
That's right.
promoters in the world.
I could have asked somebody else and they'd be like,
He's good.
Golden Girls.
No, I'm
Who?
like, yeah, they started that dance, and
Wow.
we're just they passed. They
Dance that you
couldn't. We would not be
started.
dancing without them.
That's good. You should write songs.
I mean, I could fine tune it a little bit, but
Maybe
You
there's
know-
like a lyric songwriting.
it is rapid fire.
On all of his names of his
Dance that you
nights,
started.
they aren't. If you realize, they aren't like something
I
that's
didn't know
telling
that
you
there
to
was
do
that
something.
depth. I
There's
literally
always a
thought
hidden
GPS
meaning.
is like, where
There's
to
a
find the gay
meaning.
party.
There's a
Yeah.
meaning.
and all the
behind
parties
all
tell a
that.
story. That's the other funny.
Yeah.
thing.
Okay, Kurt's wand is roleplay Harry Potter. So we have to hurry up. Biggest pet peeve while dealing with DJs? And because I got two questions from DJs, I'm like, why are you asking that when you know the answer?
Biggest pet peeve while dealing with DJs is I think when DJs overthink their sets. I think when a DJ comes in saying that this is what I'm going to do and everybody's going to love it, I think it's a very dangerous thing for a DJ to
Maybe
do.
it's because they don't know how to mix live and they've
No,
already...
I think they just psych themselves out. I think it's good to. I think a DJ should prepare.
Yeah.
I love prepared DJs, and just have everything in their arsenal. But a true DJ plays for the crowd, not to it. And in order to play for the crowd, you need to be prepared, and you need to be able to read the crowd. So
Yeah,
that
feel
would
that
be my
vibe.
pet- feel that
Feel
vibe.
that vibe.
Right.
You know,
Read it. Change it if you have to. Last minute, change it.
That's how I do my shows.
With
Like
some great
I
DJs.
feel the crowd.
Interesting.
I will
Feel that
change the
crowd.
order.
Yeah,
Change
you
it.
sing.
Change
You
it.
sing for them, not to them.
Yeah.
And I think a great DJ plays for
That's
the
a
crowd,
true
not to the
musician.
crowd.
That's 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Paul,
Honey.
I actually got this from a producer. What would the name of your reality show be?
Oh God.
And have you said no to at least 2 reality shows?
I have.
Yes, yes, you have.
true.
I think this question is from
Why?
Oh Lord.
them.
One party at a time. I don't know. I don't know. The soul of the
It should be called GPS.
GPS. Yeah. By the way, hey, there you go. That's a good one. GPS.
How about, by the way, comma, GPS?
By the way, comma GPS.
Yeah, okay. Well, I already asked this. The most ungay thing you do in real life, and it's fish and scrub.
Yeah.
For-
I do a lot of ungay stuff. I'm a bad gay.
He knows about cars.
I'm
You heard him
finally
talk about
just-
cars the other day, and
you
I
know,
got
People joke about my
That's so
uniform.
sexy,
I'll
man.
have like
hot.
3 or 4 pairs of jeans till I wear them down. I'll have 2 jackets and I'll switch up the t-shirts. And I've actually gotten better. I found a place online because I hate shopping, so I'll like just keep on ordering new t-shirts so I
You
keep it
hate
fresh.
shopping?
I'm a bad
You're
guy.
a
I think that
gay?
people would just
I
say
am
Give
the
me the
gay. I am the gay that hates to dress up. I am
When was the
not-
last time you had a
Yeah.
frappuccino?
I am not a dress-up gay.
Who are you?
I'm the one that would go to the Halloween party without a Halloween costume. I'm kind of a bad gay when it comes to that stuff.
And people just don't send you shirts all the time?
I mean, maybe, but they probably don't fit me.
I mean, maybe.
No, and I like to wear. I like to wear what I'm comfortable in. I think it's important. I always like to
Yeah.
be comfortable.
I
in
love
my
that.
I mean, be
that's-
you.
I
Be
love
me,
that.
yeah.
That's so original.
Yeah, who knew?
Paul, where can our viewers and followers find you? Or what do you want them to...
Yeah. My Instagram and Twitter are at Paul Nicholls with 2 L's. I fought hard for that second L, ENT. And then on Facebook, I'm Paul Nicholls, where you can follow me, unless I delete somebody. I don't have like 6 Facebooks. I'm not one of those Paul Nicholls 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. I try to do it myself, so I just keep one. And then for all the Pride events.
And we actually have your next event, June 8th.
Yes, that's
There you go.
that's
Kurt,
a biggie.
please share
And
this.
we're announcing a performer on Monday, which people will be very excited about.
It's me. I'm doing Paul Lynn jokes. It's going to be amazing.
Who will actually be?
Nobody even knows.
Yeah, they have a track being released on June 7th, and they will be performing it for the first time at GPS on June 8th.
It's such an amazing artist.
We were listening to it in the lobby.
Such an amazing artist. Such an amazing
You do not wanna miss it.
opportunity. You don't want to miss it. It's
And-
literally. You
Yeah.
don't say that
And there'll
much
be
in
a
LA
panion
either.
on the rocks as well.
Dan, Ann, and Tom. And last thing, though, to all the Pride events at My Party, mypride.com, meaning this is your pride and these are your parties. So go to mypride.com, and you'll see everything we have going on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think this is such a great meeting of like
So
what
fun.
Pride is, because we've all experienced Pride in totally different ways. Nick, are you ready?
Hey guys.
Okay, real
Hey
fast.
guys. What me?
What
me
happened to the
talking?
bottle of Stoli?
What?
Oh my
speaking
God.
of,
Can we get a shot of this?
for the record,
has
I did
been-
not. For the
Wait a minute,
record, I
that
have
was
not had
full.
one
It
sip
It
of
has
that
been
bottle.
Nor have I.
stolen.
No,
it
you
has
did.
been
Me and
stolen.
Debbie have not had one sip of that Stoli bottle. So
I'm sorry.
You guys, this is actually scaring me.
I have a
It
feeling
was
we
because
know.
you guys left it out here for so long. It evaporated.
That could be
Yeah.
it. I have a
It's
feeling we know who the
evaporation.
guilty party is.
We have to finish.
Girl, you
have
about to make it
finish.
rain.
The new single by Nick.
Make it rain.
Right. I heard some vibrato though, so it wasn't all that bad.
Right?
I can match pitch. Go ahead, try me, Debbie. I can match
low.
pitch.
You guys, we're all going to the whiskey to hear Debbie like wail at us.
I'm there.
Yeah.
We're all gonna get
Girl,
scared. Like,
I want to hear her
Yeah,
do
there you
metal. I want to hear
I'm
her
there.
sing
yeah,
metal.
I'm actually too.
I'm there.
YouTube.
Oh,
I was thinking that when I was watching
Brought
that.
to
I'm
you
there.
by
I'm so there.
YouTube.
Nick, celebrity crush. Now, not your like physical, one that you could actually have a relationship with, which relationship
A celebrity
means
relationship
somebody
with a
that you're-
celebrity. That sounds like a real thing.
No, but like somebody that you're more attracted to than just looks. Like,
Someone that I've tried to slip into their DMs and it goes straight to spam.
No.
Oh.
Somebody with
Well, Chris
different.
Hemsworth.
Someone you like is an actual person, not just their
Oh,
Yes.
so somebody that
Thank
I
you, Debbie.
actually know and okay and
No, not
value.
that you know, but
value.
like, that you could feel. Oh my god.
You know, girl, you asked me these questions, celebrity crush. You're like, but it can't be this, and it can't be this, and it can't be this. Okay, girl, I thought you asked me a question about.
Oh, he's gonna
Girl.
sass me.
Girl, she says, look, we had this whole
I
conversation.
don't want you to just pick a celebrity just for their looks. Somebody that like you like feel like you could talk to and hang out with.
That's a difficult question for me because honestly,
It's
being,
rapid
no,
fire.
I mean being in LA and everything like this, I don't have somebody that I look at and idolize or want to be with or.
Fine,
in
then
fact-
who's your physical celebrity crush?
I mean, honestly, is it weird that it would be a girl?
No, not at
No.
all.
I honestly.
Are you kidding me? I would love to date so many women. Just not do the.
I
final.
I think J Lo.
J Lo. Oh, okay.
No, not J Lo. I didn't say J Lo. Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer
Lo-
Lawrence.
You're
J-Lo.
excused from the show. You will never.
By the
be
way,
back.
who
No.
actually, for the record, from the
took
X-Men stuff,
off.
is the funniest.
She
girl
actually, I found
on
out
the planet.
She actually stopped acting for a while because she was
She
wanted
learned
to
how
do.
to?
No, she wanted to do charity events and not be in the limelight, and she just wanted to
Picking
go.
up.
At the she's
I'm
She
not her
is an
biggest
amazing
fan,
person.
sorry.
She has these. She goes online. She posts these gross photos of herself, saying, "I don't care."
She really is that way.
She
Gross
really is. I
photos?
don't
Oh,
care.
yes, I wish I could be that gross.
She literally is
Okay,
the
it's
one.
rapid fire. Okay.
Okay, whatever.
Thanks so much. So it's J
He
Lo.
doesn't
That's a
like
rapid
J Lo.
fire.
He doesn't like J Lo.
Yeah, she's
Obviously,
awesome.
she's amazing.
I got so many weird questions about your food habits. Your
Actually.
guilty pleasure binge food.
Oh my god! So anything with fries.
Like a fried burrito, like a fried...
No, fries. Like anything with fries. So
now, do you actually eat? Is it your metabolism? Or
Does that mean you don't eat the fries? You just eat the stuff it comes with?
No,
or
I put
actual fries themselves.
No,
right?
fries.
Packets of Wendy's ketchup.
No, if I'm like, oh, we're at a steakhouse, and they're like, oh, it doesn't come with fries. I'm like, okay, then what does? And they're like, the burger. I'll have the burger.
So
I'll
fries
put
is your
fries on
subject.
everything.
Okay,
I'll order the
okay,
large fries
okay.
at McDonald's. Fries are my shit.
Fries.
Okay.
Fries.
Oh my god, you guys, fries.
Fries.
Favorite?
Fries.
This is a duel. This is actually, I got this question weird ways. This is actually from our emails. Favorite and least favorite part of the body. You're making me laugh, by the way.
All right, favorite and least favorite part of the body. Okay.
Rapid fire, come on,
Oh, yeah.
It's not after the bottle of Stoli. It's not so rapid
Please
fire.
or somebody else's.
My favorite part of my body would have to be, I like my ears. They're really kind of big, and I had to grow into them. And I didn't appreciate them when I was younger, and now I like them. I think they're cute.
talking about your body?
They make me cute.
Somebody else's body.
What?
Just in general. Okay.
Oh, you're talking about. I thought you were
The
talking
questions
about my
are
body.
for his
His body.
Okay, cool.
His body.
And I dislike, which a lot of people love about my body, and I just honestly could care less, are my freckles. I have freckles,
What's
honestly.
freckles?
I have a lot of makeup
like
on.
2.
I have a lot of makeup on right
You
now.
mean a freckle hater?
I have a lot. No, I'm not like. If you talk to a dermatologist, freckles are not a thing. They're actually an imperfection. To
Pippi
people in dermatology.
Longstocking and Wendy's has them.
I don't like freckles. Okay, and I'm a McDonald's supporter.
Yeah, I don't.
That
I
too.
don't see them. Freckles are fun.
Mickey D's
I
for the
just
win.
love that that's like the least favorite. Like
Freckle hater.
I just know.
Like-
I mean, I don't have a problem with me. I was born this way. This is the way I'm going to change. No surgery is going to change me. This is what I like about myself. It's that I am myself. I'm the only me I can
We
be.
like that about you too.
Oh.
What would your drag name be?
Debby, stop kicking them.
Okay, so there has been a plethora of opportunities for this. So I literally just came up with one the other day as a joke. Okay, so I like Monet Sachs. Like Monet Sachs. That was cute. Elisa Prius. Visa Decline was, I think, one of them.
Lisa Prius.
There is a drag queen.
There
named
is.
Lisa
I actually know
Decline.
two, which I heard recently. But I do like Elisa Prius, and I will not take credit for that. That was given to me actually at Key West.
You make me laugh.
But yeah, no. I thought about drag, and I just realized that that it's not me.
I could see you.
Rapid fire. So okay.
It's not me. But yeah, Visa
Okay.
Declined. Elisa Prius, whatever it is.
Elisa Prius.
Elisa
Prius.
Oh my god, I don't even know. Tell our viewers and listeners to find you.
Well, you guys, you can find me at Nick Masc on Instagram or at Nick Mascardo on Facebook. I don't have a Twitter because I don't have political views that are that important.
Oh my god. All right. Right here. This
Well,
is the
that's
way to
another
kick out
show.
Pride. What I'm really proud of this show
Mask
is
for mask.
no matter what journey we've come to tonight, and we're all on different levels of everything, this Pride message that we all gave was pretty cool.
Who knew?
Agreed.
Who knew?
I know, right?
honestly didn't know from you, Paul, because like I said, it's
This microphone brought something out in me.
I've almost never gotten
This is
this
so
deep
fun.
with anybody.
Yeah, this is
A
fun.
big thank you to one of my guests for today, my guest co-host, Nick Masc, Kurt, our engineer, Mama Rose in the chat room, Here TV, and you, our loyal listeners. So I'm told I need you to subscribe and share and all that, because we have to start building up our social media, because I know you're listening. I get the numbers. Coming up, we have comedian Judy Tenuta, American Horror Stories, Naomi Grossman, ABC C7's On the Red Carpets, Carl Schmidt, Broadway's David Burnham from Wicked and Light in the Piazza, New York YouTube musical theater sensation Christina Bianco, Star Trek's Rod Roddenberry, which I'm a Trekkie, means a lot to me, and more. On the Rocks, you never know who's going to show up, so tune in. See you next Tuesday. Woo! This has been On the Rocks with Alexander, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Universal Broadcasting Network. Find me on Facebook on The Rocks Radio Show. Tweet me or Instagram me at On The Rocks On Air. See you next Tuesday!